love Sunday morning because, all right. Exploding Heads time. Yeah. Episode 13.8. I'm Dave Z. I'm here with Christian C. and Brandon O.
It's issue 13.8.
Yeah. That would have been gold.
God,
shit.
Damn it.
You guys should have told me before. I should have called.
It just dawned on me. When you said 13.8, it sounded like, like issue number, reference number, all,
Yeah, like that movie. What was that movie? From last year? Remember the guy had the comics and he said 13.8.
Oh, yeah. That was a random acts of
yeah.
Didn't that make your list, Christian?
Number 4, yes.
Yeah. Where were you on that one?
Yeah.
You should have known right away.
You.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate. Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's the fact that we've switched the clocks ahead or whatever like that, but more than ever, I hate the both of yous.
Aww. Oh, and I was trying to be happy.
What, trying? Aren't you universally happy? What is that a Hulkamania shirt?
That's right, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is.
Babadookie. I just saw him as Thunder Lips in Rocky 3.
Yeah, right on, exactly.
The ultimate
all my
male
love slaves out there
meets
Thunder Lips.
The ultimate meatball.
Yes. Hey, how about we go get that Polaroid together? Yeah, sure. You know what I'm talking about?
Why did it take me? This is going to be an embarrassing thing to admit. It took me to this view to find out that Mick was Jewish.
Oh yeah, shalom.
Yeah,
of course.
I had no clue. I'm like, what kind of funeral is this for an Irish guy? I thought he was Irish.
Let's conclude our
I thought it was a horribly racist thing. Hey, Mick.
Yeah, I can speak Hebrew because I have that whole thing fucking memorized with Mickey's thing with Rocky. And then
Hebrew. Where's the coffee?
Barishna coffee.
I said, where's the coffee? You said Hebrew.
What?
Honestly, you should start a Jewish coffee company. That should be our business, called Hebrew.
You're right.
Hebrew Dark Roast.
Brew, and then we can put like the Star of David on it. That'd be fucking
Or
great.
a little yarmulke covering up the steam.
Yeah. Will that be our gimmick? You guys always like to say.
Like, here's the silver cup, right? So it gets a Hebrew here, and then the top that screws on is a yarmulke. You know what I mean?
Yes, and it's got little payas hanging down the side of the cup.
And it's got Amadeus. Yes.
Yes, Yes, yes.
Amadeus. What's it called? Payas?
That could be the commercial jingle.
Dude, how has Weird Al Yankovic not done Amadeus?
Because he's not as good as Eric Webster says. I'm joking, Eric. Why did me say that I prefer? Why did me say? I can't even talk.
Why did me say caveman?
Why me saying that the videos were preferable to me than the audio make it sound like I was giving him no credit for his music whatsoever?
You said you wouldn't sit around and listen to an album.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I guess that wraps it up.
That's all. That's all it said. And Eric and I did and would. That's all there is to it.
No, I would sit around and watch the videos with the accompanying music, but I guess I wouldn't just sit around and listen to an album.
You're just a fair weather fan. You're a one hit. You're a hit guy. You know what I mean? You're just going for the hits. You don't listen to the deep cuts or, you know how it is though. See, most of the time the song that's the single rarely is the best stuff on the album. You know what I mean? It might be the most gimmicky. It might be the most, people might gravitate to it more. But a lot of times the best stuff are the other stuff on the album. You know that as a music fan.
Yeah, so I do know that as a music fan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with Weird Al. Okay.
So, why me no understand this?
Why me?
Mickey Goldmill. That was his name. And they pushed him into the wall at the end of the mausoleum. Oh, that fucking scene. I'll tell you what. Let me talk to you about Rocky because I had this discussion with my brother because of what we did on the show. He's as big a Rocky fan as all of us. And we were talking about it. I told him the way I ranked him. I said, how would you rank him? And his ranking was, I think, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's the way it was. So, but he also said that the top three, same as me, the top three are all 10 out of 10. So they're all there. And I said, and I told him, 3-1-2 or 3-2-1, whatever it was. And he goes, here's the thing. Here's the difference. He goes, 4. He goes, the drama in 2 is the best. He goes, that speech that.
I agree with that statement.
You don't get that scene. Yeah. You don't get that scene in 3. You do get a similar scene when she confronts him on the beach and, what's the truth, damn it? I'm afraid, all right? You want to hear it? Want me to break me down? All right, I'm afraid. Anyway, there's the discussion on the beach, okay? Which is good, but she goes, it doesn't hold the weight that Rocky 2 does when she wakes up from the coma and everything that goes in. He goes, if you don't want me messing around with Creed, I won't now. And this and then she goes, I just want you to do one thing. And he's like, win. And,
and then the music kicks in.
Yes.
Yeah, and then that dung.
And then the training montage, and when he's running with the kids through he goes, nothing in 3 or 1 touched that. And he goes, and as far as I'm concerned, in 4, he goes, there's none of that. There's nothing to get over except, Creed died and it's sad. But when he goes and he goes to Russia, he doesn't have to overcome really anything. You don't have that character arc that you get.
There's a nip in the air that he has to overcome.
Yeah, it's very cold. I was talking to Chris A.K. Scott, and he verbatim said that just brings him like to tears almost, that scene, that win. That's why I do think upon rewatch, you got to give credit to 1 because 1 started the whole thing. But as a franchise, I think 2's a better movie. It takes everything that was great about 1 and amps it up in not a cheesy way. The reason I like 4, and I when we did this a couple episodes back, it said that's my favorite, is because I'm looking at the total cheese factor, as well as the fact that as a kid I loved it. Like, I'm looking at the fact that it's a montage movie. The songs kick ass. It's the shortest running time. Like, they got it down to a science at that point. Here's the formula.
Even as a kid.
And let's plug it in.
How long is this fucking thing?
Yeah.
Mom, I got to get back home.
No, it was an hour and a half done. And that was like the last 25 minutes.
He don't like long movies.
No, it's just that it was literally the attention deficit Rocky movie because it packaged everything into it. And it just, to me, it's not just Rocky 4. It might be the best example of a Hollywood 80s movie. And that's where I'm going with it. Like, within the Rocky universe, I can argue, I've just rewatched the first, I'm on a 5 now. I can rewatch, and that's always been my weakest one. And I can't argue anything anybody says about them because there's more emotional weight with the first 3. But 4 is just, hey, Junior, 4 is just the whole package from just a machismo action Rocky film. And that's what I love about it.
I agree.
That's fair. I'm like my brother. I'm into the whole. And again, nobody's knocking 4. It's just not to both of us in our discussion. It's not on a level of 1 through 3. That's all. It's a different type of movie. But what he sold me about too, really made me think. I'm like, you know what? That was really sad. It makes me the saddest of all of them with Mickey. But you're right. That speech is cool, and Rocky's doubting himself because of everything Mickey told him and all that other stuff. But in Rocky 2. It's a much more serious thing. He wouldn't even see his kid yet until his wife came out of the coma, and he was there praying every day. And the stuff in the beginning, he's trying to be legit, and they're making fun of him because he can't read. He's trying to do the commercials. He doesn't want to fight anymore. The drama of that, and everything he goes through, and Creed's calling him the stallion chicken and mocking him publicly. And
Creed's
all that.
Amazing in that, yeah.
Oh,
it's more Creed's movie because, again, that's what gives it weight. I mean, again, you can't have it without. Yeah. You can't have it without part 1, but it's such a great it truly is a great sequel because as much of it is a remake because he's copying the formula, it's a perfect continuation of the story as well. And in Rocky 3 really is Rocky 1 and 2 combined, and the beginning part, the first fight with Clubber Lang is like the loss, obviously the loss, like part 1, and then it's like he switches characters and he becomes Rocky again to win at the second one. It's the formula's perfection in these movies. He knows exactly the right manipulation, so you don't feel like you're being manipulated.
Rocky has to lose at least one fight a movie.
Yeah.
He didn't lose in 4.
Well, he lost Apollo.
He lost Apollo.
Yeah.
Well, he lost a person, yes, of course.
He didn't throw in the damn towel.
Right.
No, the damn towel!
That he should have been arrested. Drago should have been arrested. That was cold-blooded murder.
True. If he does,
the towel was thrown. He threw.
Yeah. Yeah. Sad.
No, I thought the towel was dropped. Did they do that beautiful montage later where the towel's falling, Apollo's falling, Stallone's falling? I think it's a No Easy Way Out and everything.
In the alternate version, Apollo is winning the fight, and Rocky throws the towel in, and it lands on Creed's head, and then Drago kills him because he can't see.
Living in America. I feel good, and you don't have James Brown in any of the other ones.
Yeah, it was a gimmick, all right. It was fucking one gimmick after another.
It was so good.
Live in America.
And fucking Apollo, if Apollo didn't dance around so much before the fight, he wouldn't have been fucking winded. He couldn't.
Yeah, he fatigued.
Yeah, he fatigued. He fucking blew his load in the pregame. You know,
that's what's so great about it. It's awesome. Oh, it's such a great movie.
It's all that soundtrack. That's the only reason why I pick it.
It's one music video to the next, but
it's so good. Every song is amazing. I could work out to that whole soundtrack.
There is a great shot in the No Easy Way Out montage. So he leaves Adrian at the top of the stairs in the one of two small dramatic scenes in the movie. And then, and you just see her there. He leaves. She's still standing there. But in the song, in the montage, you see her turn and leave. It's such a great moment. Like, I mean, I love it. I don't know why. It's just such a small thing. I love it. Yeah.
Listen, I'm really into it. It's fun. It hits.
Oh.
I always check out. I'm like, it's okay. I just don't have any. But the funny thing is, I always thought that the fight itself in 4, in the end, is the best fight of the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Like, an entertaining boxing match. I think it's great. I'll give it props.
I mean, you'll never see a real boxing match like that in real life. There's no way. Like, the way they trade off punches. Like.
I lost money, though, on DraftKings, though, because I bet on Drago.
Oh, shit.
Hindsight's 50-50, my friend. That's like, what movie was that? That was Fletch. Remember he bet against Rocky? In Rocky? No, it wasn't Fletch. It was,
what movie was that?
No, it was Chevy Chase, but it was in Dirty Work.
Oh, I never saw it.
It's not a great movie, but
the Norm Macdonald one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie, actually.
It's not a great movie, but it is fun. But Chevy Chase is like, every time you see him, he's a doctor. He's got a broken arm, a broken leg, because he owes bookies money because he bet against Rocky in Rocky 3.
I think Artie Lang's in that movie. And
yes.
I could be wrong about this, but I thought he talked about his interaction with Chevy Chase, because Chevy Chase came on the show years later, but didn't recognize Artie, and he's like, we were in a movie together, or something like that. I mean, they might have only shared a couple of scenes.
Artie Lang looks a lot different. Well, no, they were like the scenes they share are in it, but Artie Lang looks a lot different every time you see him.
Yeah, well, not what he is now, where he's undergoing the flat nose and everything else, and had overcome his addiction. I'm talking about like back. Well, he may still have been fighting addiction, but back in 2000
probably plumped up.
Early 2000s.
Probably plumped up by that time.
Wasn't that Rocky 7 where he fought addiction?
That would be good. He should become an addict. And what happened in 5? That's what I love about 5 in the beginning. In the beginning, they're rich. And they got all that stuff going on.
Come on, cocaine! Gah! Now heroin comes into the ring.
And then he could say,
I'm going to smack
again.
crack.
He could say, you think maybe this fight is, you against you? You know what I mean? That's addiction. He could be saying it to the mirror. There is no tomorrow. Speaking of the mirror.
Rocky 7.
Oh, fuck.
The war on drugs.
Well, enough of Rocky. Holy cow. Woo.
What if they do like a Rocky Rambo crossover? That would be fantastic.
Yeah, dude, that's why Sly should get props for the Rocky series, for the Rambo series. Like, to me, he's better than all those other guys that did action movies. Most of their shit became like low budget fucking. I mean, not Schwarzenegger, but still, by comparison, it's not the same. Like, but any other guy outside of Schwarzenegger that did them, everything just became like direct to video, like fucking, almost like a shell of fucking what the first movies were and what they were doing. Like the best I think are Stallone, and then, you know, and then Arnold. But Arnold, it isn't like Arnold's some fucking amazing actor. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Sly's amazing, but I think he's underrated. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
that's all.
I agree.
So
ratings.
Okay, ratings. Yeah, again. B. You ever heard of American cheese?
Yes.
Okay. C. Have you ever heard of American cheese?
Yeah. That's all you could order at Subway. Like, why have you look like you don't even know what this is?
No. Because in Canada, they don't call it American cheese. That's why I thought you were going to say a different answer.
I don't know what they call it in Canada. I think it's just cheddar. But in the States, they just go, could you put American on that? Like at every Subway you go to. I go, put whatever fucking cheese you've got. Just make my goddamn hoagie.
Now, are you a white or yellow American? You can't say that. Jesus.
They're gonna ban that next. They're gonna be canceling cheese next. Canceled cheese.
Curd culture.
Isn't that not just American cheddar? Which is like
no, you know.
No, American is different than cheddar.
Yes. Well, Canadians call it
processed.
Yeah, exactly.
Processed cheese. That's what they fucking American cheese. And it's I forgot about it.
Everything you guys eat is processed. Haven't you guys learned that yet? Unless you kill it in a field, it's been processed.
Yep.
Even your Whole Foods are processed.
It's true. Sad but true. But I forgot about that because I don't watch Canadian television anymore. I used to always hear it when I was a kid with commercials and processed cheese. They would say, and I was having a discussion with my friend about it. He goes, yeah. I go, yeah, I forgot about that. He goes, that's what? That's American? He's like, yeah. So as soon as I heard that, I'm like, I'm gonna ask C on the next show about, you know.
That's hilarious. Really, at the end of the day, and I make a joke, but there's a lot of sincerity here too. Doesn't that just describe America?
True.
American cheese processed.
Yeah, you're right.
Your whole culture processed. Like I love Brandon. I feel like rage is building in him.
No, not at all.
You don't care. Well, why don't they call it American? Is the funny part. Why don't like we call Canadian bacon? We don't call it some other name. We don't call it processed bacon or some shit.
You know why? I'll tell you why. Because we've had so much of your culture thrown down our throats, and everybody's gonna think I'm coming off as like spiteful or whatever like that. It's not. I grew up on American movies, like and TV and whatever. I think that's it. We had so much of that put on us. I'm not saying this is the reason, but I'll make the excuse as to why we don't call it American cheese. We're like, enough! Processed cheese it is.
Enough. Oh, shit.
We have Punky Brewster. We're not calling it American cheese.
Hey, honey, you want to watch processed graffiti tonight?
What do they welcome more? Do you think they like French more than Americans? Like, would you rather have the French shoved down your throat or the American culture? What bothers you more or less?
I really, at the end of the day, neither really bothers me.
Okay, well that's good to know. Good.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd rather not have this conversation.
No. For entertainment purposes, and because I love the reaction sometimes it gets. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I mean, I want everybody just to get along. I as much as I make jokes, I want peace and love. I like unity. I just find it funny that, and again, I make jokes, and I don't want to get too political here, but you call it the United States of America, and I'm like, there's nothing fucking united about one of these states.
You're right about
me
that.
versus me. But it's a joke. There's a joke there, but that's the outsider looking in. But I love everybody.
If you find it, let me know, and please tell me.
I've been to the States and to multiple states more than most Americans, probably. I've seen more states than most of the American population. There is a thing that we talked about this on the show. I think that, the majority of them see 8 states or less in their lifetime.
Yeah, unless they're driving through them. I can buy that, sure. Yeah, well, I understand. When the circus comes to town, it goes to every town, and,
Which state has the best elephants?
Yeah. Idaho.
Idaho?
Idaho. I don't know what I said.
Who are you calling a hoe?
I used to think this.
I think it said Idaho.
You did say Idaho. Like Iowa and Idaho combined.
It's a combination of Idaho, Iowa, and Ohio.
And Oshawa.
Now, that would be united.
Idaho.
Idaho.
Like I said, make Alabama the prison state, everything would be better. Just one prison state. You could put the Mexicans there.
Dave's going to tell us about a girl he used to date from Idaho, and every time he went down on her, she tasted like potatoes, right? All rotten, baby.
I just thought it was funny that she's the only person I knew from Idaho, and she would visit in Vegas occasionally for business. And I hooked up with her a couple times when I met her at the casino. And when I first met her, it was Idaho, and then I started teasing her. Idaho, I said Udaho. You know what I mean? just joking. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't like being mean. It was just being playful. You know. So every time I hear Idaho,
then she stopped coming to the casino.
You're right. She just came to see me. She didn't have to come to the casino to see me anymore. She had my number after that.
And the story has a happy ending. She's upstairs right now. It's the wrench.
No.
Wrench, tell them about Idaho.
It's absolutely not. Don't you wish you had a button you could push and find out what happened to everybody you slept with? Like where they are in life, what became of them, what they're doing. Like, man, maybe when you go to heaven you find that out or something. You know, I just want to know these things.
Maybe when you go to heaven, you find that out.
Answers to all your questions. That would be, if heaven could be two things. One of them for me would be like to be perpetually trapped in like 1984 or something forever as a child. You know, and just continue living like 1984 over and over again. Or when you get there, you get back everything you ever lost, and you get every question you ever wanted answered. Those would be great. That's a dream scenario for me, but. Man, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
We didn't get the memo that today was headband day, did we, Brandon? Sorry. Brandon's still wearing the hat. I would have worn the headband, but there's one problem with that. I don't fucking own a headband because it's not 1980 anymore.
84. He's perpetually in 1984.
Check it out.
You're in heaven.
This is my do-rag. See?
Oh, there we go.
Multiple jewels.
Now that makes way more sense.
I have about a dozen of these things, and I do all kinds of different things with them. But because I had a Hulkamania on today, I said, well, I'll roll with the headband because it'll go with the motif of Hulk.
You could put it back into a headband now.
What do you do with a do-rag?
What I'm doing right now.
It's a doo-wop.
Keeps my hair. Doo-wop.
You can't say that.
Sure you can. Italians don't get offended at shit like that. I was having this discussion with my daughter because we watched The Godfather, and there's this one scene when the guy, when what's his name, meets Jack Waltz, and he goes, I don't care how many Dago Wop Guineas come out of the woodwork, Johnny Fontaine doesn't get that part. You know, he's like, I'm German Irish. He goes, listen up, my Kraut Mick friend. Anyway, so, I love that guy. She was beautiful. Anyway,
well, Mick calls Rocky a Dago and Rocky, and then I asked my dad because I've heard Wop numerous times, but Dago, I actually asked my dad to go, what's a Dago? And he said he didn't know. This is way back when
That's
he was
what
still
Yoda
alive.
was.
That's where he lived.
Yeah.
Dago Ba. Yeah.
Dago system?
The Dago system. Dago Ba. Yeah. It used to be a joke. I used to always
Hey, Yoda, get over here. Shine my fucking shoes.
I just got a new pair of Italian shoes, actually. Wherever I go, they go. Yeah. But I was telling my daughter, because she didn't know what those words meant. I go, that's because they're Italian slurs, and we don't care. Like, when you slur an Italian, we don't get offended by it. It's just one thing about Italian. It's not we don't give a fuck. It's like calling us fucking anything. A cracker or something. It doesn't bother me. Slurs never had bothered me. And I was giving her this whole thing. Well, this is
in a fight situation, though, they would. If someone comes up, hey, you greasy fucking wop, you'd probably be like, oh.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't make me feel better, but I mean, it's never like hurt my feelings.
You've made my day.
And I don't know any Italians that it really affects them to hear that shit. They just kind of laugh it off, like Goomba and all that shit. Yeah. You know, it just, I don't know. Greaseball. I mean, greaseball's a little derogatory, but we are greasy. That's the thing. It's just like Eddie Murphy says. And he goes, it's not racist. It's stereotypes. It's true. He says, because black people have big lips. White people can't dance. because they're not stereotypes. It's true, and he's right. So that's just that everybody's so uptight now. You can't say that. But I mean, a lot of stereotypes are started for a reason, and it's okay. And Italians do like pasta, and we do have oily skin, and all this. These things are true. I'm not embarrassed by it. Big fucking deal, But anyway, I don't even know how we got on that.
I honestly think that Brandon's comedy special or whoever's comedy special should be like, you can't say that, should be like the name of the special.
Yeah, and remember that show, You Can't Do That on Television? That should be it, and Brandon's head will be on it. You can't say that, and the stamp comes in. And his face comes apart. That's a good Canadian show. I'll tell you that much. That was the good old days of Nickelodeon. You can't do that on television. Oh, man, good shit. So, breaking news. I left the VHS groups.
Yes.
Peacefully, because I
boo.
Well, the thing is, I'm tired of seeing things come up. Here's this $85. Who wants it? Sold. Somebody, and I'm like, well, number one, I could never afford this. Well, I could afford it, I suppose. Number one, I would never pay that much for a VHS. So all the ones that I really want left that I don't have at this point are ridiculously high, and it's so rare that one's gonna come in. It's like, I don't need to see this. I have one empty slot on my VHS shelf, and I'm more than happy with what I have. And if occasionally I go on eBay and I find one and I buy one or something, but it's not worth it for the endless notifications that I was, because before I welcomed them, I wanted to see if there was a fire sale or someone put something up. Now I'm like, well, I'm pretty much over it now. So yeah, I just left the groups. No harm. No, I'm not angry at all. Just, I had my fun. I want to join a Fangoria group now, but I mean, that's another story because that's my new obsession. But it's just like, off we go. So the VHS groups, I don't think any of us belong in them, right? Me, B, C, right?
I left.
No, I left like a couple weeks back.
And that's okay. It's over.
Now.
I left. Wait, hold on. I left. Yeah, I'm gone.
Johnny New Pants. Yeah, Johnny New Pants is still in there, so he can report back. But he wants to collect, so I mean, power to him.
That's okay. By all means, have fun. Yeah, just be careful on what you say in front of these people because they get offended. That's like everybody these days. They get offended. Like Italians, we can't be offended. Well, I can't be offended. Back to that. Oh man. But I'm all about unity. It's like you were saying, see? I don't look at it. I'm tired of separation. I don't want separation. I want it to be not this race, that race, this gender, that gender. I want everyone just to be that this is the human race and we're human beings.
That's the only race that matters, and the amazing race.
Right.
This is a fun show.
And the amazing Jonathan.
Yes. And the amazing Jonathan when he runs that race.
Any race the amazing Jonathan runs becomes the amazing race by default. Okay. I just found some news out the other day listening to a podcast, a year-end show. And did you guys know that the girl in the lodge, the young girl, the girl from the cult, you know who her what her family is?
Elvis.
Yeah.
I told you that.
You told me? How did I not remember that? When did you tell me this?
I told you that Riley Cuff. She's Elvis's granddaughter.
Yeah. I mean, holy shit, and it makes sense because I always was in love.
She goes, "You're gonna die."
Well, the women in that family are all beautiful. Like Priscilla was friggin' gorgeous, and what's her name? The daughter.
Lisa Marie.
Lisa Marie, I always liked her. Man, yeah. Now I could totally see Lisa Marie in her. Not as much Priscilla, but I do see it. Elvis himself had strong genes.
I see a little bit of the king in her. Hey.
Yeah, the king and I. But yeah, I guess you did say that. I didn't remember or something. Or
yeah, I definitely brought it up when we covered The Lodge because I thought that was the most interesting thing about that movie. And she's been in a million movies. She shows up in everything. She's good. She's good though. She really is.
Yeah, she's good. So we got that text. I got a message last week as we were recording, and it was from Jason Smith, and I didn't open it because we were doing the show, and I wish I would have, because we would have been able to discuss first that theory that he came up with that the guy sent him. Did you guys see that? That's amazing shit.
I opened it up on the show and responded to him while we were recording. I'm the asshole that was doing that.
I've ignored it to this day. No, I'm just kidding.
I waited till I finished the show, and then I opened it up a few hours later when time permitting, and I was like, whoa. I go out, and I'm 100% on board. I think it's great. I think it brings up.
Someone already debunked it on. They did another very popular horror YouTube page. Saw his post, and then I don't know who the fuck it was, but I watched it. It was like about 15
Mythbusters.
Because I debunked it too. I said he's distracted, but his focus was always on Laurie. No, wait, not always, but his obsession was on Laurie. But
it began
then it's
with
almost
Laurie.
like
yes.
No, it began and ended. That it's the only reason it sort of unfolds the way it does in the movies, because Laurie is getting a little like weirded out, going, "What the hell's going on over there?" I think eventually Michael would have come to her.
I don't think you debunked it. I think you need a nap. Why don't you go lay down in that debunked bed?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Be funny if he came back with a wrench and just fucking smashed his camera.
Oh, that would be awesome. If I ever retire from podcasting, that's how it's gonna happen. I'm gonna come here with a wrench and smash my computer. It'll be right here on fucking like Exploding Heads episode 224 or some shit. And here I'll be. That'll be the end of it. The camera, the wrench hitting the camera. The hostile takeover. It'll be like, oh, that'd be awesome. You've offended C, so we're gonna have to roll without him for now.
All right, I see.
Laurie. So check it though. I think he focused on Laurie, and then High C. Is that what you said? Oh, By C. Sorry.
I see orange.
But I think he got distracted because he did spend all the time making sure that he hunted down.
I called it.
He must have heard you.
He had to have heard me, right?
Oh, did you hear that noise in the background?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard.
Oh, okay.
That would have been incredible if you didn't. Holy shit. Straight. Oh, is that the Levi Etheridge wrench?
Yeah, the Levi. Yeah, the Levi. Yeah. It's awesome.
For now on,
hey, Christian, grab me the Levi. That's amazing. It's because of the handlebar. Look, it's perfect. That's why it should be called that. Oh my god. Because of this. It's fucking perfect.
It is perfect.
Because of the handlebar mustache.
Oh, wow.
The Levi. Everybody.
I should have stamped a picture quickly. I'll do it on playback. I'll watch it, and then I'll send that picture to Levi.
Do not send a picture to Levi.
No. It's all over.
Oh, man. Why am I out of breath? Like, I'm so out of shape. It's unbelievable.
Gotta get in shape.
That wrench weighs at least 2 pounds.
Well, I've lifted up heavier wrenches than that. Shit. I got one upstairs right now.
Yeah.
Imagine if I bought a wrench and aimed at Irene.
You may not be allowed back in the house.
That's true. You're right about that. Oh man. So well, anyway, I dug what he said about that and how he put her in the sister bed and everything else. It was like he was happy to do it, and I dig that. I like that whole theory. It just makes me, just like he said, it makes me watch a movie that I've seen so many times and watch it, a different way. It's fun. I like that.
I thought it was excellent. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't it? His focus was clearly on Laurie at first because she dropped the key off at the house.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets obsessed with her, and he's following her. And then once Annie acts up, it's like, okay, my focus shifts. It's on you now.
Yes. He switches directions.
Yeah. I thought it was just like he was doing an old-fashioned stakeout. He's like, that house is perfect. Annie's there. She uttered those speed kills words, which was like telling him to fuck off, I guess in Michael Myers language. And then he went after her, killed the other two, and then... But
that was happenstance. They were at it, you know what I mean? He killed the other two because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. The only place he went to actually stalk and kill someone was the place that he knew Annie was at. That was the only place he directly went to for a reason to kill somebody.
And I think it was obviously, I get it. I like it.
Yeah,
It gets us
cool.
to look at the movie in a different way, but it also, like, it makes the running time of the movie what we need it to be. Because if we went right to get Laurie, then we've got a 45-minute movie.
Well, of course, you got to.
So it's a pit stop of storytelling. But I mean, that was exactly it. He stalks in that movie, and that's what has been missing from a lot of the other films, is that he observes and he goes after him. Maybe Lester was the target. I think Jason jokingly sent me a picture of Lester with a target on him. He does like to eat dog.
Yeah, he wasn't the first dog he ate, but yeah, Lester, good old Lester, poor guy. Too bad they can't bring him back in Halloween Kills. Every fucking funny that's
Lester versus Gordon.
Yeah, it's what Lester was a female, and no, he went out and had a hot date that night, like she said. He actually did find a hot date for a bit, and then made babies. And this is one of his puppies. This is one of Lester's grandchildren.
in Halloween Kills, it's Lester's great grand pup. Why everybody wants like a final girl movie, or like why not like the animals of like the slasher franchise come back together to take on like the horror icons?
Come together? Oh, wow.
Muffin, Gordon, Lester.
Yeah.
Etc.
All dogs.
All the others.
You always say etc. when you have no more examples. Etc. is perfect for that.
That should be the name of a pet. If I ever get a dog, I'm naming it etc.
Well, wait a minute. Have any animals been killed in slasher movies besides dogs? Is it always dogs? I can't recall a cat being killed. I'll tell you that.
Well, what movie did we just watch where a bag of cats were killed? Oh, Inferno.
Inferno.
A bag of cats. It's true. It was a sack of cat.
Sack of cats. Sackhead Jason. Sackcat Jason.
How about Sackhead Jason? Speaking of that, did you see the picture I posted with the bicycle wheel above the
Crazy Ralph's bike?
Yeah, I think that's a cool theory. Another cool theory.
I think you theory people becoming Crazy Ralphs.
He puts Crazy Ralph's bike on top of there, but he leaves the police car parked in the middle of the fucking pathway on the way to Crystal Lake.
Well, he didn't learn how to drive like Michael did.
Imagine you just see him like with Crazy Ralph on his back and him like pedaling the bike back to the jacket. I'm telling you, a B movie of just all that shit would be a comedy, obviously.
That'll do it, man. When the what do you call it? When the borders open up.
Alex, get on that.
That's our 19th movie.
Yep. We can combine them all into one. I'm telling you, it's just a clip show. People will appreciate it too. I think. It'll be a clip show for horror.
That'd be it, like a Kentucky Fried movie, but updated with horror. Like they haven't done that in ages. That was the idea of that show that we never ended up doing anything with. That TBA to be announced. That was the idea of it. Like it just in, out, done as much as possible. I didn't want anything to go too quickly or too long from a sketch wise. That would be a great idea for it. It's kind of like Robot Chicken, but live action.
Live action.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that could be it.
Live chicken.
And B, you want to act? You can be a producer. What do you say?
Live chicken.
Live chicken.
Fuck.
That would be sweet to do. I'm telling you, that could be it. Man, Sackhead Jason pushing things. Wow. Anyway, I had an idea and it left, but it's something to do with the movie. And
maybe he's wearing a potato sack that's from Idaho. And he says, Idaho, Idaho.
Yeah, see, that would work. People like those stupid things. That would get over. We'll have to remember that. That's what I'm saying. Like the Greasy Strangler. People talk about that ridiculous line all the time, which, you know how easy it is to make a dumb line like that and to have people catch it? It's true. That's why I don't respect it as much, because it's like everybody loves it. And to me, it seems easy. Like,
what line?
We could have, like, you and I could be arguing about something in the movie, and I could just say to you,
Greasy.
No dice. Huh?
Greasy.
Crazy?
Well,
Greasy.
Greasy.
Well, I didn't know what line it was from the Greasy Strangler, so now that's going to be the line we use.
No, I'm making up a line for our movie so that it'll catch on with stupid shit. People like stupid shit, and it's easy to write stupid shit. That's what.
This is a greasy robot chicken.
Well, we get like an argument.
What was the line in Greasy Strangler? I still don't remember.
Well, bullshit artist. People act like they never heard that term before. They still talk about it. I've been using the term bullshit artist for fucking 30 years. I don't see why that's such a big deal because it was said in a movie.
That movie should pay you residuals.
A bullshit artist is a term that's a known term. That movie.
No, it is. It is.
That I don't get why that's so funny to people. Bullshit artist. I mean, okay. Anybody can do it.
I really don't like that movie.
It's no different than watching a fucking trauma movie and they say anything. I could quote something from Toxic Avenger endlessly if I wanted to. But I mean, I don't know.
Oh, walk this damn dog. I love that one.
I can make up a term off the top of my head. Like, seriously. I'll say, you and I will have a discussion and the answer will be no. And I'll say, no dice. And you'll be like, no dice. No dice!
Yeah, catchphrase.
And that'll be the next catchphrase in the horror community.
I don't give a rat's ass.
A fat rat's ass. People have heard that for years. Or a frog's fat ass, as Chevy Chase said in Vacation. But I mean, it's easy to write that horror comedy schlocky stupid shit. To me, in my opinion, I think it's easy to write those things. It's easier said than done, but that's why I don't get on board so much. Because to me, it just seems like the effort doesn't take that much effort, but people apparently love it. So if you want to make a buck...
If something's easier said than done, why don't people just say it before they do it?
I don't know, but that's going to be a line in the movie.
And every time we make one of those lines in the movie, you got to turn to the camera and go,
Like what's his name did in Three's Company. Remember Mr. Roper would do that sometimes in Three's Company? There'd be a laugh track and he'd look at the camera. You know?
Three's Company to me was like a background show. I know people hold it in high regard. It was one of those shows that I'd see when I come home from school. It'd be on. I'd watch it, it'd be there, but I'd be like doing something else and I'd laugh and, like it. But I never sat down and actually watched it.
You must.
For like a long... I probably... Obviously, I'm... generalizing. I've seen episodes, but more times than not, it was like a background show for me.
Oh, you should watch it now. Although you can't get it anywhere. It's not streaming anywhere at this point. So
fuck it.
We'll figure it out eventually.
You're looking at the wrong camera.
It's the microphone.
We've been waiting for you. When again it is Three's Company too. That song is great, isn't it?
So great that you remembered all the words.
Actually, I do know it. Hold on. Come and knock on our door. Take a step that is new, where the loving is his and his and hers and hers and hers and his. Three's Company too. Come and dance on our floor. We've been waiting for you.
You filthy whore.
That's the show I wanted to watch.
Idaho.
Come on, mop my floor, you filthy whore. The Three's Company blues. Ah?
Perfect.
That'd be the new thing.
There is one review that sums up this show. It's like, these guys really cracked themselves up, and that guy or girl nailed it.
Oh,
but it's true.
And the frontal lobe's not being developed.
Yeah.
I think that's spot on too.
I couldn't have any more frontal lobes. Look at these things. I think they're protruding out of my fucking head.
How about that trivia contest I won? I went on randomly. It's a podcast I listened to. It's called.
Don't bring up trivia around Brandon.
Well, I'll bring it up, all right. Because in the end, I'm even happier. But because I won, which is what I wanted to begin with, and the other one didn't finish, which is perfect for me. So it was like, okay, I go onto Instagram because I'm checking a message because I talked to the people from Gutter Garbs. I don't know if you guys saw the new Friday 2 shirt that's coming out, but of course I pre-ordered it. But they've been on fire lately with the Nightmare 3 shirt they put out, the Halloween 3 line. I didn't get them. The Friday 2 I had to get, but I had to get. There's no way I'm not getting it.
Do me next.
Well, I was talking to them on their thing. I love their shirts. And I said something about them. And I said, man, I'd like to do a promotion. And they said, hey, send us a message. We'll work something out. So I thought we'd get something going on with the podcast. And Gutter Garbs, anything would be fucking great because I love their shit, So I've been going on Instagram more lately because I'm checking to see if they respond to my message. So I go on to see if they responded. and I see Alone in the Dark podcast is starting a live video. So I'm like, okay, I'll watch these guys. I like their podcast. It's just two guys, you know. So I put it on, and it was a fucking trivia. And it was like 16, 17 people. They just happened to be starting trivia. So they were asking trivia questions, and whoever was quickest with the answer would get it. Long story short, this went on for like fucking an hour. And I ended up winning a Friday the 13th Part 4 poster.
Nice.
Which it's a small one. I don't know where I'm going to put it, and it's a Part 4 that I don't have. It's like a picture. It's kind of a cool thing. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that. You know what I mean? But I thought that was cool. I wish we could do live Instagram videos. I think that would be fun.
We can. You just have to do it on your Instagram. I don't have Instagram.
Now I'm going to
I just rejoined Twitter after being off Twitter for a bit, too. But
Twitter rocks, dude.
We can do it on MySpace. Still think I have my password somewhere.
It's still around, isn't it, MySpace? Isn't it still sort of around in the background somewhere?
Well, America Online is still around, isn't it? Is AOL.com still around? Can you still Hotmail. See? Can you still do it? I think you can. Yahoo chat rooms, I do not think are, sadly. I used to love the shit out of those Yahoo chat rooms.
Neither are the IMDb message boards. I miss
them. That's. I wanted us to make an app to bring them back.
Yeah, MySpace is around.
See? Speaking of apps, Rabbit and Red Radio, these guys, you know, I think you've heard me talk about them before. It's because right now the host of the regular show are Michael J. and Cody Robinson. And before Cody was there, it was John. So John Rhodes.
Yeah, that's why he left. When did he leave? A long time ago.
Well, he's on the network now because they got an app, so they have to have 24/7 fucking shit going on there. It's crazy. So he has a solo show on it now called Roads on the Rocks, and he plays music. I don't know what's going on with Movie Misfits. I think it was a lot of work for him because he had to edit and produce and all that, and you know what always happens with these guys. And I don't know though. It's just been a minute, and I love the show. I've told them many times, but the thing is, they started this thing, and it's an app, but it's 24/7. He had to get a license. He could play whatever music he wants, but it's an app. It's Rabbit and Red Radio, and fucking, I did a guest thing on Rabbit and Red with Michael J and Cody, and I bullshitted with them for an hour or so. But it's really cool because it's a fucking actual app, and they have to have 24/7 shit on there. So you go on there, it's like a streaming app. There's also on-demand stuff, so you can play anything that's there. But there's also a 24/7 thing going, and they have to keep it going. So, you know.
Well, it's weird. When I joined Podbean, when I first started TJF 13, they had like the option eventually, I don't know if it was like 6 months, a year in, that you could create an app. Now, it didn't have to be 24-hour streaming content, but it could literally be download your TGIF 13 app here, and it would be the logo of the show on your phone. It was actually kind of cool. And then you just clicked on it and then opened it, shut the fuck up.
I did that. I did that. That was my next question. Does anyone know how to get rid of this fucking logo?
It's long gone.
It's not. I'm just going to fucking hurl my fucking phone right out the window.
Well, Horophilia had an app for a bit. Jason started one for us, too. It's just that most people just, I don't know how much usage he got out of it, but
I downloaded the pedophilia app by accident, and now I got to chuck my phone out the window.
Yeah, again, speaking of Horophilia, it's done. It's the feeds are dead, and
sad.
It's gonzo.
Chicken feeds are dead. Them some greasy chickens. Bullshit artist.
Eh?
Eh?
Chicken feed?
Fuck. My eyes. Everybody's... Man, anyway.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Horophilia.
Yeah.
For real.
Yep.
For real.
For real. And Rabbit and Red. Check out that app. 24/7 stuff. So
I asked Jason, because I saw there were like close to 3 million downloads when he shut it down. Exploding Heads accounted for 2.8 million of those. It's fact. It's fact. He sent me the numbers.
You're the only one he sent numbers to.
Yeah.
Oh, and he sent me the top 10 from last month. And guess what? We were 1 through 10.
Yeah.
I know we had 250,000. I know we had 250,000 at one point when we became the most downloaded show. So, that's nothing to sneeze at. Yeah. Shit, think about that. If he had 280, you know what I mean? 2.8 million, and we in our short time had 250,000. That's not bad. That's a little chunk to take out. So, yay.
Almost 10%.
Yeah, a little something. So, anyway.
You got nothing from
Maybe we'll start our own network. Who knows?
Yeah.
Start our own app.
No.
Let's do this 24 hours a day.
I'm here still. Rocky 4. Talk about it more.
You know, Mick was a Judago.
Oh, poor Mickey. Shalom.
Shalom.
They said shalom like 4 or 5 times in that prayer at the end before they put him.
Did they daven? I know Christian hates davening.
So.
Christian hates davening in movies.
Yep, he does hate davening. Yeah, there he goes.
They didn't do it. They didn't do it. Yeah. No. That's why I never knew. No one's rocking to rock me Amadeus.
Rock around the clock.
I can't believe that. I think Dave, you created a brilliant title. Weird Al needs to do Amadeus.
Yeah, right? Amadeus.
Amadeus.
He did do what do you call
it? Amadeus.
A little late on that song. Most people aren't going to get the reference at this point, sadly. Rock Me Amadeus. That's from the good old days. Sadly. He did do the Hebrew thing, though, wasn't it? What was that one thing he did? Amish. Not Hebrew. Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise.
That's right.
You know what? I'm kind of caught in the middle between you and Eric Webster's argument and Christian's. The songs and the lyrics, they really are brilliant. But I do want to see the videos.
The videos are great, but he only has a video for freaking 2 songs on the album. What about
That's true. That's true. That's true. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, you can still hear them on YouTube with like a picture from the album on it.
They're great albums. Not everyone. The early ones. The first, like I said, the first 4 or 5 were really, really good stuff. But anyway, Weird Al.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Hey, are we doing this drawing this show or no?
Yes, I'm gonna sketch you in the nude.
You can be a big honking Woody. Like in 3D, like coming at you.
We have 161 patrons. Look at them! Wow.
161 patrons.
Yep.
Wow.
How come I'm getting no fucking money then?
Oh, we went back to being free, Brandon. I thought we told you this.
I feel like fucking Milton in Office Space. I feel like I've been put in the basement and you just canceled my my check with payroll. You didn't fire me, but you just turned off my paycheck.
We canceled you. We didn't fire you.
Cancel culture.
I watched the other day, New Jack City, because it was the anniversary, 30 years, right? So there's that one scene in the movie when he gets mad at his girlfriend, Nino Brown. He says he dumps the fucking champagne on her, and he goes, "Cancel that bitch. I'll buy me another one." And my daughter starts laughing. She goes, cancel. He goes, "You should get that and use it." I'm like, "Oh yeah, for like cancel culture." That would be a funny fucking meme to have. Cancel that bitch. It could be something you put up when someone says something and you want to say cancel.
How about Cancel Culture Club? And it's Boy George, and the song's about to start, and then it just goes off. It never plays.
Oh my god. That could be in our movie, Cancel Culture Club. I'm telling you.
Guys, give it up for Cancel Culture Club. They come out, the song's about to start, and then they walk right off.
And they all come out, and here's what they do. They come out, and they have no identification. They have, like, all the clothes they wear, their faces are covered. They're not males or females. They're not a color. They're not a religion. They're nothing. They just come out fucking absent of all. Well, you can't say all white because then that would be the worst thing you could do. So I guess they could just come out like all red. Nobody has a problem with red, do they? Oh no, wait, maybe natives. Hold on. Let's think of purple. They could come out dressed in just purple head to toe and move around a little bit in some dances that are unoffensive for fucking 5 minutes and leave. Cancel Culture Club, ladies and gentlemen.
That's offensive to all the grimaces out there.
What the fuck is grimace anyway?
What? What the fuck's a grimace?
Like a dinosaur? I never knew either.
He's my favorite.
It's an old joke from the Skeleton Crew. They were talking one day about it, and they were saying, yeah, it's just like that conversation in Stand By Me. You know, Mickey's a mouse, Pluto's a dog, whatever. What the fuck is Goofy? And they said, what the fuck is Grimace? So they looked it up on Wikipedia, and the results are fucking hysterical on the creation and the evolution of Grimace and what he They wanted to know what he was, so they looked it up, and the description of it was even ridiculous.
The creation and evolution of Grimace.
Yeah, the character. Yeah, he used to have 4 arms and shit. He used to steal hamburgers. Dude, there's a whole fucking thing about Grimace. I'm not going to steal the Skeleton Crew skit. I had to reference it for the people that knew about it, though. But that was a classic moment on that show. What the fuck is Grimace? And they looked it up.
The only one that's going to know is Ram Man. Steal the fuck away. Make it seem like it's fresh content.
Cody, no. Jamie, who was on the well, not on that episode. It was before her. Believe me, if I was somewhere else and nobody knew of the Skeleton Crew had ever heard it, then I would steal it.
Pretend you're somewhere else.
What I've done is I've gone back to listen to shows that pretty much no one listens to, like the Slumber Party Massacre, and I just steal all their bits, and then I'm going to present them here as fresh and new.
Yeah, guys, isn't it time for our pillow fight?
Yeah. Take your shirts off.
Yep. Time for yeah, I'm not even going to say nothing. Yeah, episode 2 should be out. I got to listen to it this week for sure. Yep. And guess what today is? It's a year and a half to the day of some amazing thing that happened. Can anybody guess what it is?
Patron only.
No.
Isn't it when you stole Lucky?
Yes. Yeah, it's Lucky's day. Yep.
Again, with every episode's a fucking anniversary for this cat.
No, it's not. Every 6 months, I recognize it. So what? It's the 14th. You know
Every
what I mean?
episode.
Every episode.
There's something new. Every issue.
Watch, every issue. Watch the next show, episode 139. But guess what? It's 2 years since I stole Lucky today. I'm
up all night to get lucky. I'm up all night to get lucky.
That's what you were singing outside the kid's house the night before.
He's like looking out the window. No! Lucky!
It would be funny if the kid,
He's
if
back,
the kid actually named the
He's
cat
back.
Lucky. That was
Dave strategically put those tires he delivered in ways so the dad comes running out of the house and trips over them. God damn it! And Dave's like, you motherfucker! He just drove off with the cat.
I should go to that house. I should. I know where the house is. I have the address saved in my phone from that day. Amazing. Yeah. The only reason I know is because I logged into my Facebook before I came on here. My memory came up at the top, and it said, and I looked at it, and it said, it was the 6 months. 6 months ago, this happened, and this was him. This is him now 6 months later. So I'm like, oh, today's the anniversary. It's a year and 6. Year and a half, baby. Lucky was all over me this morning. So bad I almost tripped over him 4 or 5 times. He was, my gosh, that cat. Every morning he's freaking, he's rubbing up against my legs here or there. He's all over me constantly. He wants me to let him out in the garage now when I warm up the car in the morning. He is one attached cat.
That's not what cats do. That's what my cat does to me. But I don't talk about it every fucking episode.
That's what I did last night with my dad. I'm like, Dad, please put me in the garage with the car running. Please. Hook me directly up to the fucking tailpipe.
I want to go out Heredity style. Or Midsummer style, sorry.
Hereditary, anyway.
Yeah.
Saw my head off and then put me on the tailpipe.
Yeah, then put the tailpipe down my fucking neck hole.
My neck hole.
I want to make sure nothing comes back. I don't even want my organs to be used for anybody.
I'm doing my.
Oh, how about another thing? An organ donor, but they're donating like a piano organ, and they wheel that into the hospital room. Like, we got an organ donor.
That is for the movie,
right?
That's right out of Airplane or like something like that.
Yeah, that is right out of Airplane.
That's awesome. That's great.
It didn't happen in Airplane.
It didn't happen, but that's
imagine that someone said, "Well, we can go to somebody's house. Somebody got killed in the movie, right? Like Jason killed somebody. Oh, well, remember, he's an organ donor." And they go, "Okay, hey Chubbs, Make sure you take them over to here and let them know it's the name of a fucking paramedic. I don't know. Make sure when you get to the mortuary, inform them that he's an organ donor. There might be some good stuff inside. And then the wife's going to say, oh, wait a minute. No. He's an organ donor. And then she goes, hold on a second. And then she comes back and she's pushing this big fucking organ.
He goes, oh, it's a Yamaha. And then just chuck it out the window.
I'm telling you.
Or a Casio or something like that.
See, B, you don't even have to be in the movie. Just come up with these fucking jokes, and then we'd run them from there. That's your
everybody wins.
Right, producer and writer.
Call the
Producer. Yeah, man.
Written by Dave Christian and some jokes by Brandon Orlick.
Some jokes. Brandon can come up with the jokes, and we just write around them. Just like right now, that's what happened. He said organ donor, and I just came up with the whole scenario on how it lands, why it lands in the movie. Yeah, that's it, man. That's how we do it. As soon as those borders open, baby, watch out, world. Exploding heads.
Watch out, world.
Podcast.
You guys are getting vaccinated left, right, and center down there. What's going on? You guys are getting vaccines. Are you both vaccinated?
No, I can't get one yet. I have to be a fucking special something or other. Even though I am a frontline worker and I go in people's houses.
I've got 4 podcasts.
My wife has one scheduled. She gets one because she has she had cancer at one point. She's a cancer survivor, so it counts for her. So if you have anything at all, but here's the worst part: if you work in the grocery store, it says if you're a teller here, you can get it. But me, who the entire fucking epidemic was going into people's houses and going in their basements to fucking, to check their meters and whatnot. They never offered it for us, and we're not considered, even though we were essential to the company, we weren't considered fucking frontline workers, which is complete. I think it's a sorry thing.
I have some dry skin. What does that get me?
Nothing.
Some Jergens moisturizer.
Jergens.
But I could have gotten in. Like my wife said, because she got in, and then she said, listen, she goes, I'll get you, and we'll just say you have a pre-existing condition, which I do. I am now taking pills for, what do you call it?
For bad attitude?
Yeah. For wearing a Hulkamania shirt in the fucking 2010s, 20s.
For being trapped in 1984?
That's a good thing, buddy.
They didn't have the vaccine in 1984.
Yeah. They keep giving me the polio vaccine.
We had Eddie Van Halen.
AIDS vaccine. They didn't have AIDS.
So I could have gotten in if I wanted to be pricky about it. So she said, you want to sign up? And I said, no, I'm not doing it. I said, I don't want to take the opportunity away from somebody who really needs it, who has a real condition. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be one of those people that I can't live with myself if I did that. Then I come home and my neighbor said, oh, you got to go this and that. And I was on the phone with somebody. I said, no, guys, I don't want to go. You two want to go. That's fine. I said, I'm not taking the space away from someone who really needs it. Someone who's elderly or has a serious condition or anything. It's not me.
You know what? I agree, but the people that really need it are fucking long dead. I'm sorry. That's a
because they haven't gotten it yet. Yes.
Oh, shit. That's horrible. But, the 400,000 people really needed it. I don't know what
they should vaccinate the dead. See what happens? It couldn't hurt. As we say in the Jewish religion, it couldn't hurt.
Right.
Imagine that, and then they came back as zombies.
That'd be amazing. That's the solution. Something good comes out. No, listen. Something good comes out of all of this. They have finally found a way to cheat death. So COVID actually ended up, it came in like a fucking lion and goes out like a lamb, like a month of March. You thought it was this terrible thing and it killed people. But in fact, the vaccine they made for it, they put it in dead people and it brought them back to life. Could you imagine? Wow. I don't mean zombies.
And again, it's horrible because I said that, and I didn't even mean it as a joke or because it's just in horrible taste. But it's true though. Like the fact is, so many people. This is the problem. Like I mean, at this point, I think people. I get it. Age groups. I'm all for the age groups or existing conditions, but it sounds like you guys have like way more supply right now. I could be wrong, and it could just be county to county.
Well, now it's starting to pick up. With everything going on, they say that the last of the people should be able to register and be ready to get shots by May.
So you guys are ahead of us. I think we'll be June, July from the sounds of it.
I think we'll be done being vaccinated by July.
I think so, huh?
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. I think
I'm not going right away. I got news for you. I'm going to wait a couple months. I want to see what the results really are before I just jump on the bandwagon. That's just me, though. Because how do we know you don't get it? And I'm not being a conspiracy theorist at all. I'm just saying, how do we know that, like, my father's going to get his second batch? You know, he got the first one. But how do we know that, how long is it supposed to last? What if 4 months later? What if it only lasts 4 months? And then, and then they get it again.
They assume it's going to be like a booster every year that you need. But it's just to offset the degree. Right. If you get the variant or a variant version of COVID, then at least, it could still protect you or at least lessen the severity of the illness. So
I'm glad it's coming. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not first in line. I mean, I can't be anyway. But I would just rather wait till like the end of summer when I see the results of the people. What's that?
You said I can't be first in line. I said not in that shirt.
I can't be that guy that just blindly runs in to have something shot into me before everybody else. That's all I'm saying. I have no problem with anyone that does. That's fine. I don't trust anybody. It's just I can't help it. I don't even get the flu shot. I never got the flu shot. And guess what? I never get the flu. Knock on wood. But I mean,
I only get the flu every time I get the flu shot.
You do?
I always feel like shit after I get the flu shot.
See, I never get the flu shot, and I never get the flu. One year I got the flu shot. I think it was maybe 5 years ago on a whim. I said, you know what? Let's see. And sure enough, I still didn't get the flu. So it didn't make a difference whether or not I got it.
It worked.
You know?
I've gotten the flu shot 3 times. It's not. I never rushed out to get it, but I have gotten it 3 times in the past.
This week?
I've never had an issue.
Well, they push it really... They push it really hard in the United States, and I've been telling my wife this for years. I go, how come everybody pushes it so hard? I go, nobody's being that nice for free. Something is up. Everybody, everywhere you go, the grocery store, the pharmacy, you are constantly reminded, get the flu shot. They push it so hard, you almost think that there's something nefarious with it. I'm like, why are they that concerned with my health? Why are they that
So you do get them free? Because I was sure I'm asking because we get them free, but I didn't know you guys did. It seems like you have to pay for everything. Okay, so whether it be COVID, whether it be flu, it's free. I'm asking, like I'm legitimately asking. I don't know.
No, it's free. It is.
Okay.
Both are free.
Sorry for cutting you off, Dave. So I
don't even know where I'm going with it. I just always was a little suspect with how hard it's pushed in the country. It's like it just seems like why are they really pushing it that hard for that? It's just always been a little weird for me. So it's another reason I never got it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're making people sick so big pharma fucking stays in business.
Oh, here we
and
go.
Everybody else
Give us a conspiracy.
Well,
I honestly think it's for health. I get what you're saying, but I think it's just they want to promote good health. And if they don't promote it, you won't get these yahoos going out to get it. So they've got to, repetition is key. Repetition to finally get these yahoos to go fucking
What about repetition?
What did I say? Repetition.
Oh.
Why not ban fucking sugar? Well, see, there's so many other things they could do. Like in New York State.
I get a sugar shot every week.
But if they're really concerned about health, I mean, I see everything as business. I'm sorry. I just think it's all about someone lining someone's pockets. I think there's the rich people that run everything, and the rest of us are the peasants, and we're the ones that are taken advantage of. So
health is business in the States. No question. No question. Like, I mean, I can't believe what I hear from you guys. Don't get me wrong. It sounds like you've got some universal care now, but I don't know if that's I don't even know what you got anymore because I don't know if that's been taken away or not. But God forbid, like, I mean, I can't believe some of the stories I heard. My daughter just had something last week. She had to get a CT scan. Went in, got a CT scan. Boom, done. Results, whatever. I just looked it up because I was looking up if we went. I don't know what I was looking. I wanted to look up what it entails, how long it was going to take, because she was a little concerned. Of course, all American results popped up and said this would normally cost about $800 to $1,000. I'm like, holy shit!
Right?
Like $800 to $1,000, and we just went in and got one done.
Isn't that nice?
So that's the shit that I'm just like, what is everybody scared about? They've got you guys freaked out about socialize. You put socialize in there, and everybody's like, oh, holy fuck, run for the hills, Russia. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know any better because I've just grown up with it. It's been fine, and people complain about waiting in line. I'm sure you guys have to wait one way or the other anyway. I've had to wait 4 hours at an emergency hospital, like going to emergency, maybe 4 hours sometimes, maybe longer. Like when I went with my daughter this last time, it was longer because we had multiple things done. But they were done, completed, and results back. Like, so I just don't get it. This is what I'll never understand. And I don't think they can change it because it's money.
It's a fucking scam. I know what it is.
Capitalism.
You're right.
In the healthcare.
And it's worse, as usual. Fuck capitalism.
Yeah,
it's all the same. Capitalism.
And we'll get off it because I know we're not supposed to be talking about this on our podcast.
But
I'm the one that brought it up. I apologize.
No, it's fine. I'll say one thing. My brother went into the hospital for something. I forgot what it was. And he asked them when he was in there. They said that we want to do a testing for something. I forgot exactly what the procedure was that they wanted to do that night when he was in there. I'll ask him more today and I'll get back to you. But he basically said, how much will it cost? This is what I want to know right now before anything is done. How much? And they said, we can't tell you that. I go, so when I get a bill.
That's horrible, man.
What's it going to say? They go, we don't know. So you cannot walk in there and say, what's the cost going to be for something? They will not give you an answer. And you will not get an answer until they fucking send you the bill. That's how fucked up it is. Straight up. You can't get, And one thing, dude, it's terrible. And I saw a post I made, a memory post again. Because, again, I don't talk online anymore, but I see all the old things I used to say back in the day. And a lot of times they're funny, and some I even delete because I'm like, well, if somebody... No, it's true, because if like a job or something looks at it, I don't want to see being as... I used to be very opinionated on social media. I don't want to... But I said something, and I was looking, and I was like, how come in New York State it's mandatory that we wear a seatbelt? They're so concerned about our safety that we have to wear a seatbelt, yet pregnant women are allowed to fucking smoke and drink alcohol, and nobody cares. It's not against the law. You can go in a casino and they're there.
As long as they're wearing their seatbelts, though.
They're so concerned about our health, right? We know for a fact what cigarettes and alcohol do to a fucking unborn baby. And we know that when they're showing pregnant, that it's too late for an abortion anyway, so you can't give me that argument. You know what I mean?
Smoked and drank with me. Look what happened. I was born with this hat fused to my head.
Gosh. Anyway, let's get on to horror. Enough of this.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll get off our high horse, but no, I that's what I'm saying. I just want the best for everybody. So it's upsetting when I hear these stories, if about whether you have insurance or not in the States. It doesn't seem to matter. It might just lessen the degree of financial pain, where there should be no pain financially to get health. That's it. Now I'm running for president next. I'm not allowed to, but I'm going to just flood my documents a bit and say that I was born in Alabama.
Is that a horse? A horse with a mask on?
Oh, my high horse? Is that my high horse?
Yeah, get off your high horse.
Pegasus! Get down here!
Oh, I love Pegasus.
That is the highest horse. Imagine that. I would love to have Pegasus as a pet.
Oh, man. Yeah. For sure.
To Buffalo!
Yeah.
Fuck you, borders!
If Pegasus existed, they would kill it, right?
Yeah. And no one ever would say to Buffalo. In the history of travel, no one's ever said to Buffalo.
And certainly Pegasus isn't moving if you say it to Buffalo.
Holy shit.
Oh. Anyway.
Awesome. Indeed.
Do you want to do a movie, then the drawing, or a drawing and then the movies?
Not doing the drawing today, are we? We can't do the drawing.
Drawing's next show. Sorry, guys.
I don't even have the names of all the patrons.
I guess I gotta give them to you. Okay, we'll hook it up. We just haven't had enough time to get together.
Yeah, we gotta figure out.
All I sent was a message like 3 days ago. I said, "B, you better get on it." I said, "That's all."
I know. I didn't get on it. You know what?
Okay. I don't think anybody's mad at us for it.
No. You know what it'll do? I mean, should we do it any random way, or should we just put all 160 people in and just randomly draw 5 names?
I don't know.
I've got a movie to add to it. Unopened blue. My wife lovingly got me a Blu-ray for Valentine's Day. She remembered it being on my wish list, but I cleaned out my wish list because I ended up buying it.
Bloody Valentine?
No, it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. But I wanted it, so I bought it. I found it on eBay really cheap, and then lo and behold, the one she gets me on Amazon comes the next day, and she's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Oh, I love you." So I've got this extra copy of Leatherface on Blu-ray that I can add to the collection of what Brandon has as a prize.
And Dave's gonna give away his VHS.
Beautiful.
No chance.
That's it.
We got because you're always good with figuring this out, whether you want to do tiers, whether people are paying. Although everyone's,
buddy, we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll do it next show.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of that conversation. I just have a prize to add to it.
I kind of don't want to be part of the conversation. I always like when Dave does the drawings. He's good at that. I just say five. I just say 5 winners.
Yeah,
because I got a ton of stuff, and if somebody wins like internationally, I would probably just do like a wish list thing where they send me their wish list and I'll send them something off their wish list rather than packaging up and mailing something international. I hate doing that shit.
Oh, I'm going to ship it. I'm going to ship it El Cheapo. That goes without saying. It'll be in a bubble wrap, but I'll try to, if they want me to open it up and put a little protective thing in there, I'll do that as well. I don't have a problem with that because sometimes people.
I'm just gonna take the discs out and throw them in something. You're not getting the boxes.
Like Jeremy, when he got those replacement discs, they were all just fucking there,
shattered into pieces.
It's like in a bag. It's like putting fucking. My brother went one time. My brother went to get mozzarella sticks at a fucking pizzeria, and that's all they did. They cooked the mozzarella sticks, and all they did was take them and throw them in a sub bag loosely.
like all the grease is like dripping out the bottom.
Grease, everything. Here you go. They threw it in a sub bag. They must have been out of fucking the box. I don't know.
What do they do with the sauce, with the marinara sauce? They pour it on top. Pour it right
in there too. Drip, drip.
Shake the bag. Yeah.
I'll never forget it. He was so mad. They put my mozzarella sticks in a sub bag.
Well, it's funny. We ordered Italian food last night. We ordered a pizza. Last night was cheat meal, so we ordered a pizza, and I wanted a tuna sub. So I called the guy. I said, "Let me get a half a tuna sub as well. No oil on it though. I like oil and vinegar, but I just wanted the vinegar." They send me a half a sub with just 5 pounds of tuna and vinegar on it. They didn't put onion, lettuce, tomato, none of that on it.
I wish
they give you what you asked them. That's exactly what you asked them.
No, I was just referencing that when it came to the oil and vinegar, just the vinegar. I want the works.
This is hilarious. My father-in-law.
That's the problem. I always want just something, and I use those words just so they can take them literally. I want this with just meat and just cheese. I say that, and I get the fucking thing, and it's always got lettuce and tomatoes and everything on it. And I don't want that.
These healthy vegetables.
I don't like them.
My father-in-law. That reminded me of my father-in-law's story that he would tell. Like, he said he went to Tim Hortons and goes, "I'd like a regular cream only." It's just like, cream only? He's like, "Yeah." And so then he went up and he got a regular, which was medium, which is what we call
a medium size. Just cream. No
just
coffee.
Cream.
Right. Cream only. If you say the word only, I use the word only too, hoping to get only. My daughter gets these fucking things, these Mighty Taco, and I go in the drive-thru and I say, I want three beef burrito, nothing on them except beef, ground beef and lettuce only. That's how I order it every fucking time. And of course, half the time it comes with fucking lettuce and tomato and fucking mild sauce or some shit. I said the word only, and I said the word just. Before I used the word just, after I used the word only, and I still get fucked. I tell you this shit.
That's fucking those pricks. They fuck you, like Joe Pesci says in Lethal Weapon 4. They fuck you at the drive-thru. Or
it's true.
One of them.
I go inside. If I went out with my wife and daughter, this is all pre-COVID. I'm more comfortable going inside and ordering it instead of fucking with the drive-thru. Sorry, it's just the way I don't trust
I'm the same way. I actually don't like ordering at a drive-thru. I feel all pressured. Right. I'm like, I want this. I want to make sure they get it right. And whenever stuff like go in, I could maybe it's like a controlling thing or something like, I want this, I want that, and then make sure that they've got it. You're not talking to a fucking machine.
And nobody's behind you, because I don't like to hold anybody up. because I don't like when people hold me up when I'm in a drive-thru. Same thing with the ATM. Anything that I don't like.
Dave's driving through Tim Hortons. He's like, someone behind me, cream only.
Yeah.
Damn it! I fucked it up again. I got cream only.
Well, no. I have the app for Tim Hortons, so I'm all fucking straight. I order before I even get to the fucking place. And here's what I do now. I go in the drive-thru.
They just toss it out.
Yep.
Woo!
I ordered on the app. My name is Dave. That's all you got to say. You go up, they go, come on through. They hand you your food. You're gone. There's no exchange of money. There's no exchange of card. Nothing. Boom. There's your shit on your way. I wish everything. The best thing about COVID has been this. All the fucking curbside shit and all this stuff about not having to go inside stores and how simple everything's become, which I've wanted it for years. I picked up some drugs yesterday from the pharmacy. All I had to do was drive up to the thing, dial the number. This is my name. I'm in parking spot number 2. And they fucking run it out and they put it on your windshield. They don't even fucking open the window and hand it to you. I wish life would have always been this way. No
It's pouring rain, but...
And then Dave's like, fuck, I gotta get out of my car and get this off my windshield now. What is this shit?
He's turning his windshield on to the car. Fucking pharmacy.
Pills are flying.
I'm right here in the window, you fuck.
Instacart, everything. Walmart. I can go to if I go to the app and I want to get some from Walmart, all I gotta do is spend $35. Only problem is you usually gotta give them a day notice. But you order something the day before, all you do, okay, pull up to fucking Walmart at this time. This is your time on this day. Pull up in the bin. Call them. I'm here. They fucking come out. They put the food in the trunk. You're on your way. It's fucking beautiful. I wish it was always this way. I hope it stays this way when COVID's done, because this is the way I want to live. Fuck going in stores.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere because I think people do like it, actually.
It should have been this way for years. It really should have. It's so much simpler. I mean, why not?
Indeed.
But anyway, maybe we should talk about a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
The listeners
like
might...
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, if you're sick of us bullshitting, tell us. If you're not, we're going to continue to bullshit. And don't be afraid to speak the truth, please.
Yeah.
All right,
You
now...
can do it privately if you're scared.
Question, Christian, do you want to start with the old, the new, or the spoilers for the new first?
Oh
shit.
And release.
Jeez.
I love how I have to tell my hand to release.
Release.
My hand's got a mind of its own. Hand, you gotta stop choking the shit out of Brandon.
I actually choked myself too hard there. I hurt myself.
Hear that, ladies? He's got a strong grip.
Yeah. Do you do that when you're masturbating?
Oh, there you go. I never
Dad,
thought
I
about
need
it.
a spotter. Dad spots me.
Yeah. Oh, you passed out again, son. Don't worry, I finished up for you.
I finished up for you. Talk about cream only. We have not talked anything horror in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't know. No, this was fun. This was fun. All right, guys. Bye. See you next show.
Imagine that.
Exploding heads. Podcast. No horror movies.
Guys ready to get into the long weekend?
Yeah,
I'm ready.
All right.
It's not a long review.
What's that?
Hope it's not a long review.
It's been a long weekend. Actually, it's been a short weekend.
Yeah, daylight saving motherfucking time.
We should have done this in fall back.
Yeah, we should have done it with fall break.
How about we just do it?
Yeah, all right. Long weekend, 1978. When a suburban couple go camping for the weekend at a remote beach, they discover that nature isn't in an accommodating mood.
This was a first-time watch for me. I thought I had seen this before, and boy, like, you know, obviously within a couple of minutes, I'm like, okay, no, this is not the movie. I don't know what movie I thought it was, but it was a first-time watch, and I love the ideas presented in this movie. I hate the characters, and I think you're supposed to. Like, there's such, like, that woman doesn't smile for the first 23 minutes of the movie. And I understand there's shit going on, and there's reasons for it. And that guy is an absolute asshole. He treats, like, you want, like, what eventually happens to them almost to happen because they just have no care in the world. Like, they just treat everything like shit.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, and like just like from the hit and run at the beginning with the I don't know, 15 minutes in with the deer, and it's just, you know, the lack of respect, like tossing the beer bottles, everything. Like, there's just no regard, just chopping down a tree for shits and giggles.
He throws the cigarette out the window, the fucking whole bush goes up on fire.
Yeah.
They fucking literally just a path of destruction.
Yeah, that's it. And I'll stop. But that was, there's no redeeming quality to these characters. So I find it's a tough watch because I don't like those type of movies, but they exist. And for, you know, I watched it and I enjoyed it for what it was, but I hated the fucking characters.
I like the score. Good menacing score throughout. I think both these films that we're reviewing this morning, have good scores.
I agree. I like the scores. I'm not overly into either of them, but they were.
Well, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna sit down and listen to them. I think they're effective for the films, though.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think they're.
I gotta tell you, I think I missed out on I know they hit the deer. I didn't see what was when that scene happened.
Didn't he hit a kangaroo?
A kangaroo. Sorry. I forgot we're in the outback. It's Australia, so yeah, a kangaroo.
The deer was in the next movie.
Okay. Deer. Yeah. I think it was a Tasmanian devil. Apparently there's a Tasmanian devil in this movie, which apparently makes no sense because at this time they were only in Tasmania, so there wouldn't have been a Tasmanian devil in the outback. I don't know. It's just something I came upon. But when they hit whatever animal they hit, I guess I missed how they were careless about that. And I'm not saying, I think that's on me. See,
it was indifference. Like, oh,
pardon me.
Oh well.
Oh, they were in. Didn't they stop and look at it?
She was asleep. No. You think they do because that's how it's kind of edited. He hits it. It's like, oh shit. Continues. Then it stopped, and you think, oh shit, he's going to go check out the animal, but it's her. Then parked at that little where he's going to go get beer. So he goes to get beer and try to pump up the gas and gets like 2 cents of gas in there or something like that before he flips out. That's where they're parked. But it's a cut scene, so you do think he stopped to kind of investigate, but he doesn't.
Is it a cut box?
Yes, which he sniffs
so
profusely.
I guess I missed that thing there. As far as the cigarette, now that you're saying it, I do recall seeing it happen and them throwing a cigarette out the window, which all smokers do anyway, unfortunately. Well, not all. That's unfair to generalize, but a lot of them, unfortunately. But
just in the dry lands they're driving through, and that's right before he hits the kangaroo, and then they do that thing where they show another car hitting it after. So it's not only really just singling out these two, which you're right, Christian. I don't think you're supposed to like these people, even when a serious topic is discussed. They give you reason to hate both of them for it because neither one of these people are really good people. So, but they show the other car hitting the kangaroo also. True. They're showing just a complete disrespect for nature.
Yeah.
And so I saw that.
Yeah.
I get that. I saw it, but it didn't register the same way. What I absolutely noticed is totally stuck out was the tree thing. I even wrote it down because he's like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm chopping it down. She says, why? And he says, why not? And I was like, what the? That pissed me off because why you do that to trees? You know what I mean? So that was the one thing that I noticed. So I guess I don't have the same, maybe now if I watch it again with this knowledge, it would be different. But I guess I didn't have the same take on the characters. That was one of the things I liked about the movies is that to me, these were real people. You saw the good and you saw the bad and they were okay for a bit. You could see that they're a real life couple because this is how real life is with a lot of couples. Maybe there was a tough time. Maybe there's a little animosity, but there's still love there. And who knows? Instead of just having your regular run-of-the-mill two happy people driving up and being excited about going and how we going to overcome the things that are going to happen, I liked the fact that this portrayed real human beings instead of movie characters.
That's true.
So,
that's true. I respect that.
I dig that stuff.
These two are on the brink of divorce. I mean, they're hanging on by a thread. So this seems almost like a last ditch effort to save the marriage. Because, I mean, she admits, that she cheated on him
Yep.
with their
There was an
friends.
abortion, right?
And yeah, she had an abortion because she got pregnant. She's mad at him because she's like, I didn't need to have an abortion, but I guess he didn't want to raise someone else's baby. And then she also blames him for her having the affair. She's like, well, you were attracted to so-and-so, to whatever the woman's name was, so you practically drove me into his arms. Like, everything is just like, nobody takes responsibility, and that's what's kind of deplorable about this.
Yes, and that's why it's just it's a tougher watch. And again, you got to respect it in a sense for what Dave said, and the presented real with actual problems, and it doesn't seem shoved down your throat. But it's just they're just not likable. And again, if this was real, they wouldn't even have left the house, because with that much hate and with that much for disdain with one another. I mean, he wanted to go. She was not going to go. She was to take the dog and get the fuck out of here.
I
made a joke.
When he scopes
I would have taken the dog
at the beginning.
Yeah.
I like when he scopes. He's like checking out the scope.
After he hits the car, like there's no regard for their own property even. He drives right up, and right out of the gate, he smashes into their own car.
Yeah.
With his car. He's like, oh, shit. Checks it out, and then, yeah, you're right. He lifts up the gun and scopes her in the gun. I'm like, holy shit. Like, you're already being set up for this, but if she wanted to go to that hotel, and if he really wanted to save the marriage or do anything, they would have just gone to the hotel and gone to a nice place. I don't think he wanted to save the marriage. It's like he had no regard. He kept saying, no, we're going to do this, and you're going to like it. So I don't blame her for not liking it.
But they're both selfish, though. She wants to do her thing. He wants to do his thing. There's no compromise. That's why the relationship's failing. There's infidelity.
Maybe,
for
sure. Well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You know what I mean? Maybe it got to the point where a couple bad things happened, so now they're at this place. Maybe once upon a time they did care and love each other, and now, one or two bad things happen and it falls apart, and they're just still there trying to achieve what they once had.
They have a few moments on the beach there. They're playful on the beach. They're making out. They're having a good time.
That's why I like it. Yeah. That's what part of me. Okay. I'm not saying I like the movie. I like that aspect of the movie. If this movie were to be made now and it was a found footage movie, with the same people having the same conversations, a lot of bickering, this and that, and the pace of this movie, so many people would hate it. They would criticize it the way they criticize things like Blair Witch and other ones and say, number one, all these two people did was argue. Number two, nothing fucking happened. That's what they would say, and you know it. And that was my takeaway from the film. Nothing fucking happened. I like a slow burn, but I need shit to fucking keep me into the movie. I don't know why this movie is so beloved. I think it's beloved because it's fucking foreign. Because I noticed that if this was a movie made in the States, I don't think people will be blowing it as hard as it is. I just don't see it.
I think it's got a real Twilight Zone atmosphere to it. I think the opening scene showing the city life, the hustle and the bustle with that, they show pictures of nature and things growing slowly and quietly. And
I like that stuff, yes.
Yeah, I think it's just a cautionary. It feels like an extended Twilight Zone episode to me, and I thought it was terrific. And
wow,
I'll say this: I think some of the things that happen in the movie that are unexplainable are more creepy than supernatural things you'll see in other films. The fact that they're driving in circles and they keep getting stuck, and it happens at the beginning and it happens at the end of the film. And it doesn't make sense.
But it's dark. It's really dark, and they're.
But it's not possible because it ends. It's just not possible for it to be a circle, and it's like it's almost like there's something supernatural happening. It's almost like something supernatural is happening, and everything foreshadows what's going to happen. The spear gun going off early by itself. The moldy Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything it foreshadows what's to come, and it's really, really effective, I thought.
There is definitely a foreshadowing. The horror really doesn't kick in into the last 20 minutes, more or less. You would not know you're watching a horror film or anything like that. It's kind of genreless in the sense of like you don't really know what you're watching at first, but you're right. Everything's foreshadowed. I mean, the killing of the kangaroo is exactly his demise at the end. And he may even be treated exactly like the kangaroo because that guy seems to be running back to his truck, and you think almost like he might just drive off.
I almost expected Leatherface to come charging down the road. Right? Didn't it look like...
Black Mania.
Black Mania. The
Yeah, remember that? Did you say that? You called it Black Mania the one time?
Black Mania.
You can't say that instead of Hulkamania. Black Mania, brother.
I liked that because I was fine. I was sort of turning into Dave there, where it was like Hawkmania. No, I turned it into Dave's thought process of like, I'm not sure if I'm really on board, but I do like nature coming full circle and trying to sort of trap them, almost like you're not going to escape, and then he has to get out on foot. And I do like his fate, sort of mimicking exactly what he did to the kangaroo. So those aspects I quite like. The movie
and
as a whole is only good.
Her fate too, I thought was really good with the spear gun, and then you see her like she's kind of starting to mold over, like the Barbie doll. It's just all happening, and when they find that other van that was parked there in the water, and he finds the other dog in the tent, it's almost like you really get a sense that this is going on a bigger scale. That nature is fighting back. This is a man versus nature. Here's other people who disrespected nature, and they wound up in the fucking ocean.
As blow-up dolls. That woman looked 100% like a fucking blow-up doll in the water there. I had to rewind it and get a closer look. Is that a fucking blow-up doll? I said, it had everything except it didn't have that mouth. You know, like the blow-up dolls.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about, Dave. What mouth?
I
like B's take, though. The Twilight Zone thing, I liked it. I like what you're saying. I respect it. That is a good take, and you guys have brought up some good points. The movie it didn't grab me from jump. It just didn't. I wish it did, and because it moved so slow, and like I said, nothing happened. It just didn't do anything for me. The best part to me was the fucking when what was it? An eagle attacked them. I was like, oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. That's cool. I like that. And I was like, okay, now what? And then that one part made no sense. The girl's asleep, right? It's funny because he says, go fuck yourself, and then she promptly does, right? And then she falls asleep in the tent, and he's out there swimming, and she wakes up hearing, and I rewound this twice to watch it, and she wakes up. I thought she was hearing something screaming because he said the night before it sounded like a child or something. I thought it was like fucking wolves. Either way, she wakes up to this screaming animal type noise, and immediately she runs to the beach and she starts yelling stuff at him, and he's just sitting there. And then he paddles in, and then I thought she was telling him I had a bad dream, but then all of a sudden they say something that there was something in the water, and he saw it, and fucking she heard it, and next thing you know, he fires at nothing, and you see blood. None of that fucking scene made sense at all. You don't see anything, and how would she hear it?
You see a black mass, no?
That's the bunyip that washes up on shore.
Oh yeah.
And
you know what that is, right? The bunyip.
Bunyip is the candy that you dip the white stick into the different colored sugars, and you lick it.
It's Dot and the Kangaroo. Remember I played that fucking song on there, that scary song? The bunyip's going to get you.
I was making a fun dip joke, but Dave totally just was like, fun dip, bunyip, not funny.
Oh, I thought it really was a candy called
No, fun dip.
I'm sorry, fun deep. Yes. I'm sorry.
Fun deep.
That's what I always call it, fun deep. Oh, fuck, that is a good. I'm sorry.
Oh, the mold on the food. That was another thing. The mold on the food. It's like not possible for the food to spoil that quickly.
What they call it? The chuck. Remember, I'm watching this fucking Australian movie, and I got the Blu-ray, and there's no fucking subtitle. I was so mad. So I probably missed out on 25% of the
probably because they speak English.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm sorry. There's some shit I can't. It doesn't. I wish it did. I wish I could hear. Again, I can read anybody's handwriting. That's my skill. But I traded it off that I can't hear fucking.
But you knew it was a bunyip or a dugong or a sea cow. See, I thought it was a manatee.
Yeah, but
that's what I thought it was.
I was like, oh, the humanity.
Oh, so my Lord.
Explain the scene to me. Please try to rationalize it. She's asleep in the tent. So, what are you saying?
She hears the crying again. I think she hears the crying again, which is nature crying. I don't think it's that like the bunyip. I think it's actually nature because she first hears it when she wakes up after they kill that kangaroo. There's that scream out in the woods.
Yeah. It was right. She heard it.
So I actually thought, because I didn't know anything about this movie, but when we said it was man versus, like the way that we were pairing it, I'm like, okay, this is going to go one of two ways, and I'm assuming it's a nature thing, but I actually thought maybe this kangaroo belonged to somebody, and it was a backwoods shit thing. And I thought this guy was going to follow them and like hunt them for sport. That's actually where I thought we were going with the movie. And then I realized
big guy with an axe. His name was Paul Bunyip.
But I honestly thought that's where we were going. I thought it was a much more traditional, like almost like Deliverance style film where they killed something, took off with no regard, and this guy was gonna follow them and make their weekend a nightmare. And I thought that's exactly what it was gonna be. And then once we started getting into the wilderness, and I saw how it played out, I'm like, oh no, this is a nature thing, and nature's kind of fighting back, and
it's the cries of nature being destroyed. It's more like almost like a symbolism on a bigger scale, or a metaphor, whatever it may be, on a bigger scale here. Like maybe it's not supposed to make perfect sense. Yeah, she hears the crying, and it startles her, and she gets frightened, and she runs out. Yeah.
But he's casually in the water. He's not acting like he saw a fucking damn thing. He's sitting there surfing, minding his own business, being calm as a fucking cucumber. And then he gets out and he goes over to her. And then he says, oh, I saw something. She says something to him. I thought she was trying to tell him I just had a dream. Because I couldn't, again, with the accents. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
She yells to him and that there's something in the water. And then he looks back and he sees it. You see like a shadow. And then he gets out and he starts recklessly firing into the water, and that's when he kills it. But he was recklessly firing into the water earlier in the film. He throws that bottle in the water and he starts shooting, and you see the result is he killed the mother duck. Because you see the baby duck swimming around, the mother duck is like bleeding from the head.
Oh,
so it's again just more recklessness, and he kills this thing. I mean, because it's not supposed to, I guess, make 100% clear sense, because it's almost like a mind fuck, because then the thing is obviously getting closer and it's moving, but it's dead. It's not really moving. It's just maybe a buildup of their guilt, maybe mixed with, if you want to say, a little bit of supernatural nature horror here.
Done without like a lot of special effects. Like if this was remade or done today, you'd get the Evil Dead type force, where I think like the leaves and the vines would come and like almost like start attacking or
the Bunyip would stand up and go. He would do the Pennywise.
Come out staccato to the camera, but like this is done way more subtle and definitely just through the use of like wind, sound, and those cries. The cries are very disturbing. I will say
they are. They are.
I agree with that. That scene I didn't quite get. I watched it like
Poor
3
Cricket.
times.
You think somebody's going to find Cricket?
He just left him in the car.
Yeah, he left her in the car. Poor Cricket.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Why did he just run off that way and keep going? I don't understand that either. Why did he get out?
At that point, he just wanted to survive. But I'm not sure why he didn't let Cricket out of the car. Because he cared about that dog more than the wife. So at that point, I think it was like, feet don't fail me now. I got to get out of here.
Cricket has the funniest face when at the beginning of the film when the wife's like, "Why don't you go with the dog and I'll stay here and bark at the birds?" And they show Cricket's face. It's like what?
Oh, no, he almost looks like he's like, oh, he looked defeated. I was like, oh, poor Cricket.
I liked Cricket.
The only dog I've ever seen in my life that they put a fucking big bowl of food there and it doesn't eat, and on top of it, it walks away. I didn't think that's possible for a dog.
He's like, let's leave 3 pounds of food for the dog for the next 3 days. Like everything they say, they're very deplorable people. They really are. They're just terrible.
Well, she's not a dog person, apparently.
No, she's not.
She thinks that a dog could just survive, which it probably could, but I mean, still, it's not good. Flies are going to be on that food and everything else. And what if it rains and whatever? I don't know. It's just fucking, you shouldn't do that to your dog.
At one point, I was wondering if it was an underlining message of anti-abortion, because they wedge that, they do bring that up.
They do with the egg.
But then you have that other family, the other car that they find, and so, but again, that's just a plot device in the movie.
No, but the egg does make sense, because he kind of yells at her for having the abortion, like, "Oh, you're just so quick to kill it," and then the same way she just chucks that egg, which is a scene where it's like, this doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? But it's just showing that they're just. I mean, they're just not really good people. I mean, you don't really. You get very little. You get very little in terms of wanting to root for these people.
And in my opinion, that's how you should do it in a movie. What you said about if you have a message in a movie, that's the way to do it. When the three of us are like, oh, I think that meant anti-abortion. I think that's how you should put a message in a movie instead of it being in your face all the time. Just one man's opinion, but I think it's better that way because then you can enjoy the movie for every other aspect it has, and that's just one part. Your feelings on it are irrelevant, but you still recognize them. Say, okay, this is the stance for something, whether it's pro or con. It is what it is. I like that they, I'm just saying I like that. Is a plot is a little thing to put in a movie. That's a good way to do it, I think, instead of being overbearing.
Subtle.
That's
so
all.
you can take it as subtle. That, or you could be like, I didn't see that, and either way would work.
Right. Unlike some movies nowadays, which are the complete opposite.
Down your throat.
It's going down your throat like a fucking mandingo cock. Right.
But I really feel like, and this is the way I'll interpret it, like the beginning where they're traveling in circles and they can't seem to get to the beach. It's almost like nature saying, "Stay away. We don't want you here." And then at the end, when the car dies and he's running, and it seems like he's running in circles, it takes him a long time to get out of there. It's almost as if you're saying, all right, we didn't want you here, but now you can't leave.
Yeah. Yeah, and on top of that, though, those people didn't even seem to know what he was talking about when he went to get the beer. They didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's just 5 miles down the road, no? And they're like, we haven't heard about it.
Yeah, that was weird.
Again, because I thought it was all set up because they had those guys stare. I think they wanted to set the movie up to feel like you're going to be seeing something else, like a Straw Dogs or Deliverance or something like that. They killed this kangaroo. We hear the screaming cry or whatever. He's got beer. These guys are like, we don't know what you're talking about. And then they're looking at the window, kind of staring at her. And she's kind of looking at them going, what is going on here? And you just get this really creepy vibe, and which they follow up on later on, where she's lying naked has her strap undone on the beach, and she's getting like she's suntanning, and the shadow comes up on her, and a creepy music clicks in. But then it's him. It's revealed as him. And it's almost like they are setting it up like they're going to be attacked or they're going to be victims of these outback, I don't know.
It's so weird.
Crazy Australians.
Maybe I didn't read into that. I mean, I'd seen it before, but maybe I didn't read into it the first time because I always kind of look into what the movie's about beforehand. But maybe that's the whole point, is to set you up thinking, oh, the threat is man itself. And, you think you're, in a peaceful, natural environment, but nature is really the enemy here. Well, you made it the enemy. But
right.
And I think that's exactly it. I think we've been head faked on purpose. And so that part is very intriguing. So like I said, it's good that my biggest problem with it is the characters. And again, it's hard but if for rewatchability factor, I really never want to spend any more time with these characters. So I would never want to watch this again personally. But the movie's good. But it's like a one-time watch for me. I mean, maybe I'll catch it again down the road, but I have no interest to jump right back in to rewatch it.
Yeah, I won't do it soon, but I will do it because based on this conversation, I'm a little more intrigued. But some of the things that you've said, the two of you, it's opened up some doors for me, I guess. And I'm like, okay, let me look at it from this perspective. But I'll say one thing: the animal stuff they were showing and the nature stuff, it made sense in this movie. It's the message of the film, and it's showing, and it leads to something. Unlike a movie like The Prey, which does it just for no reason because they're trying to fill some time. Let's just show this nature stuff. It doesn't make sense there. Here it makes sense. It's part of the film. I like that. But how about the Days of Our Life music? Did you pick up on that in the beginning? It sounded just like the opening, the Days of Our Lives, the freaking what do you call it? The soap opera. Ding, ding.
No, you know what I thought it was like? I thought it was like Laurie's theme or Halloween. It was reminiscent of Halloween to me. I put a note down, but then I realized that I don't take any notes. So that when that was my only note, I just deleted it. But now that you brought that up.
John Carpenter stole this. From,
I think he did.
I'm dead serious. There's a hint of, okay, play it.
I'm gonna play. Then I'm gonna play you Days of Our Lives, and I guess we can play Halloween. Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay, now.
Yeah, this fits. Wow.
Now listen. Hopefully, Days of Our Lives is on YouTube. It's got to be. Let's see. Days of Our Lives theme.
What did you do?
I hit the back button. And it scared the shit out of me.
What the fuck, Lori?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck.
Oh God, help me, please!
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me. I'm like,
Okay, here's Days of Our Lives.
Only pay for what
Of
you need
course,
for
a
living
fucking
here.
ad. Sorry. Can't hate on them for an ad, though. Someone's getting paid. All right, let's see here. Hold up.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Well, it was the beginning part. Doom, 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 doom. I guess it was a little faster here. Than I'm going by memory from my mother used to watch it when I was a kid. But I was like, doom, 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 doom. That's what that thing sounded like, except it's a little too fast in the Days of Our Lives. But that's what it
Well, did you guys know that John Carpenter originally wanted Michael to be an escaped bunyip?
yeah.
Like sands through the hourglass.
I love when it kicks in real dramatic right here.
The sweeping music. That was like definitely a sign of the times.
That's fucking nostalgia. That's my childhood right there. Oh.
I feel bad for you. Thank God my mom didn't watch soap operas.
Well, at the time I hated him, but hearing that song now and that narration and that music, it just took me back. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Wow. Yeah. But anyway, I guess I'm wrong. Cause it's much too fast in the Days of Our Lives version. But in my memory, it was always slower than that.
Maybe you're thinking General Hospital.
I really, you play us a theme with that. And no, I really thought Halloween when I heard it. I'm like, holy shit, this is very Halloween-esque.
Halloween.
Before Halloween.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, wait.
Has Carpenter had an original idea?
This come out 78?
Yeah.
Oh, so same year. Same
No,
year.
he stole it.
Carpenter admitted.
This
Carpenter
was in
admitted.
production 18 years before Halloween.
No, he took the theme in Halloween. He was inspired by the Deep Red. If you listen to the Deep Red, but it's slow it down a little bit, you could tell it's Goblin. It's that, you know.
Goblin.
Which is so cool because they're both of those, you know, themes are so fucking they're beloved.
JP doesn't understand the Deep Red soundtrack.
Oh, don't even get me started. You should not have watched that version first. I'm sorry, Moods. I know he thinks the complete opposite, that the extended is the way to go, but
no way.
But completely different opinion than Moods. When it comes to Argento, you don't watch the extended. I'm sorry, and that's my man, Argento. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I have any more notes myself. The Datsun thing was cool. The fucking sign for the Datsun. You guys remember Datsuns?
Maybe, man. Not. My dad had one.
Yeah, my dad did too. He had a 210. Datsun 210. You know what they became, right?
Nissan, no?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Name is Nissan. That's what they used to say. Yep. And I remember in Rocky 3 when Paulie's in the bar right before he throws the bottle at the Rocky pinball machine, there's a commercial playing in the background in the bar that goes, Datsun, we are driven. Yep. Good one.
I literally just watched that yesterday, and I didn't remember that. And that's Dave. I just remembered Paulie coming up and throwing the bottle and loving that, and then of course Rocco bailing him out of jail. But we've done enough Rocky talk on this.
I know that movie word for word. I can't, and every sound and every fucking. That's why I know that Datsun thing. That's funny.
That's every sound from the fight scene.
You could play me a fight from any Rocky movie and take out the dialogue and give me the sound and give me 30 seconds and I'll tell you what fucking movie it's from. How about that?
Only give 25 seconds.
If you could find a way to isolate the score and give me that, I would play that game. They'd be like, name that tune, Rocky Fights. I think I could do it.
Well,
anyway.
I don't have any more notes, so unless Brandon does, I'm ready to...
I'm good. I feel like we said enough.
Again, I'm torn because the movie's good, so I guess I should just base it on that and not my hang-up of not wanting to spend another minute with these characters. So I feel like it's a better movie than what I'm giving it, but my experience is what I'm basing it on. So 7.5.
Oh, that's fair. I thought the way you were talking.
Yeah, that's a good score. That's a good score.
That's fine. Well, I'll tell you this. Initially, I was only at a 6. And then the cherry on top ending. First and foremost, the LOL moment, the fucking the truck driver and the bird coming in. When the bird came into that guy's truck, it was the only time I laughed, I think, the whole film. And then what happens right after that? You know I love those kind of endings. That's a whole cherry on top. I bumped it up to a 6.5. However, after the discussion today, in good faith, because I of what Brandon said and his interpretation of it, I'm going to come up a little more, and I'm going to settle on a 7 out of 10.
Nice. So, and isn't it funny how, like, in the background, in the news on the radio that you listen to in the beginning, they're talking about these strange bird attacks happening?
Yeah, they do mention that, actually.
They're mentioning it's in the background, right. So they're sort of hinting that nature is already kind of.
Like almost like the birds, like the hitchhike thing.
Yeah.
Isn't there a news thing that's on the TV and they're...
Yeah.
There's
stuff going on. People are getting attacked. It's because nature's fighting back from the very beginning. And I thought it was just fitting that not only does he get run over at the end, like the kangaroo that he runs over, but you see that the truck driver who gets attacked by the bird, you see he's transporting cows in the back of his truck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's a vegetarian movie, too.
He could be taking them to the slaughter. You could, I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah,
it's a statement about that. it's anti-abortion, pro-vegetarian. And you're a strange bird yourself, B. You said it. You said strange bird attack.
Did I say strange bird?
Yeah. Strange bird attacks. You said that on the news they're talking about
the strange
bird
birds.
Attacks. So as you said strange bird, it registered, you know?
Yeah, I enjoy 8 out of 10 for me.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Not bad.
I thought you may be higher, but that all seems fair.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I'll admit, with both of these films that we watched for this one, I just felt like, even though I'd seen this one before and I really enjoyed, and I think I think they're both quite menacing and well done, I almost feel like they're just maybe 10 minutes too long each.
Don't say that. Have you even seen there's a lot of posts on our feed now about us not wanting a review. And again, I think I answered it. Dave, I think you did too.
Right,
we were just simply discussing from watching for preparation for the show. We have nothing against long movies because I think we've all blown long movies. The director's cut of Dr. Sleep, the director's cut of Midsommar, just as recent examples.
The Suspiria remake. Dave and I blew.
Yeah.
Well, see, Brandon's been very vocal about it. I think I made a thing about it. I said, how come Brandon a lot of times has been saying he doesn't want to watch long movies, new ones even? And I said, I figured it out because he wants to watch as many movies as possible. So
that's definitely that's always my logic when watching new movies is watch the short ones first so I can bang out a bunch of them.
Right. I get that. I do.
Yeah. Just like his women. He just midgets first. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, little people. I am not of this time.
I'm
sorry. Little midgets.
Man.
Oh, Mamma mia.
Anyway, great.
Good, happy news to share. Hold on, check this out. The collection is growing, of course, but look.
Fango 1!
Issue 1, folks. Issue number 1. And not just any issue 1, but it is freaking in like new condition. It is wonderful. And even better, I paid $20 for this.
That's fantastic.
$20. Yeah, right.
That was the one that we did Undead Mail for. So we've already done the not on the show, but that was the Undead Mail was issue 1. I
thought it looked familiar when they were talking about the black hole, right?
And Battlestar Galactica and
yes,
and Star Wars and The Wiz with Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Yep. I wasn't going to read any of the mail because I thought that too. Right. Exactly. But I'm probably not going to get to it now, but I will as soon as I am going to do them in order, but I have to finish what's in 2 and 3 before I go back to 1, and then we'll continue there. But there's other stuff in here. But I'm just so happy about it because, like yesterday, there was an auction going for one that was in pretty good condition, and the last I saw, it was $81 on an auction. And I see them listed for one for $600. Not saying they're going to get that, but this guy had it listed on Facebook Marketplace for 45. Then a week went by, then 35, and he was selling some other ones too. So I just offered him. I said, "Hey, would you take $20 for these 3?" Because he was selling 4 for 30, but I already had one. I said, "Would you take 20 for these 3 and 20 for Fangoria 1?" And he said yes. I was like, fucking sold. I was so happy. I thought I'd never get a 1.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. And the condition is fucking... I told my wife, well, if we're ever boned, if we're ever in big trouble in life, I could probably get fucking about $1,000 for this whole fucking set when I'm done. You know? But hopefully that never happens because I never want to part with them.
If you guys... I mean... We don't have a lot of thrift stores in the sense of like I've got Value Village and whatever. They got some VHS, Blu-ray, DVD, books, but they don't have like CDs, like the Spectravision stuff. And then I saw posts of people going, I went to a thrift show and they had a huge stack of CEDs. Again, I'm only interested in Friday the 13th. I will keep you up to date, but if you happen to be at one, if you go to those even, and you happen to see 1, 2, 4, or 5, because those are the only ones that they released, and they're not ridiculous, like they're $5 or $10 or whatever, grab them, I'll pay you back. Because I'm finding them very difficult. They're top dollar on eBay, and then whenever anything pops up on like the fucking sites and fuck off, Brandon. He held up a nope. And whenever you see them on the sites, I've put in a bid. I thought I had 1 and 2 spoken for. No one ever gets back to me on this shit, so it drives me crazy. They go, here, we got these for sale. I go, I'll take them. And nothing ever happens. So it drives me fucking mad. Anyway, that's my little plea.
They say you live all the way out in Oshawa. They're like, fuck that.
Well, I say, will you deliver to Canada? And then my follow-up will always be, don't worry, I got a place. And then I'd use Dave in Buffalo or North Tonawanda to get them to deliver. So it's in the States, they're happy. And then when the borders open up, I'll go grab them.
Nice. I also want the same one. So if you find 2, C comes first because he asked first and because he started the collection.
What are these called again?
CEDs, but it's more widely known as Spectravision, I believe.
Spectravision.
I'll take video discs too if they have them. I don't care. If as long as that's Friday the 13th, anything from the first 4, I'll take it.
Spectravision. The video discs are more like CD size, and they're mostly Japanese writing on them, so they're still cool to have, but they're a ripoff. That people are selling them for ridiculous prices. So I'm only interested in the laser discs and the CEDs.
Right. Yep.
From the old school standpoint.
I'm with you.
I saw Rebecca just got part 5, which is the hardest one to come by. I guess she found it on our marketplace, met up with the guy because there's a picture of them in person. And she's got a part 5 CED. She just posted it yesterday or the day before. I'm like, God damn it. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. Whew. Wow. That's cool. That's all I want to. I'm with you. But C comes first. So if you see 1, good. If you see 2, get 1 for each of us. You know?
Just like in my marriage.
Nice.
Oh, you take care of yourself. I'm off the bed.
Sensitive jerk you. Okay, we're still on issue number 2. All right, so did you guys know that before Boris Karloff ever donned the nuts and bolts, Universal Pictures signed their resident vampire Bela Lugosi for the role. Test footage was shot and lost under mysterious circumstances. So are you guys aware of this? That Lugosi is going to be fucking Frankenstein's monster? Yeah. Crazy, huh?
If you asked me that in a trivia question, who was up for the role, would I have guessed Lugosi? Maybe as a name that, but the only other name of a monster that I knew, Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff, and Bela Lugosi would have been the only ones, and Dick Cheney. Those would have been the only names I would have known. So maybe as a shot in the dark, I may have gotten it right, but I don't know. I don't think I knew that trivia or reality.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
I feel like I knew that, but I feel like I knew that probably from writing the trivia questions.
Maybe you did that. Maybe it did come up, and it sounds like a good trivia question. So maybe. I can't remember, and good luck finding those things. Those recordings are gone forever, I think, because of horophilia. You know, unless somebody saved them. But like, that's the thing with the horophilia shutting down. A lot of that stuff is just Gonzville. You can't even hear it anymore. You know. But Robert Florey, who was going to be the director, he was originally hired by Universal to adapt and direct Shelley's novel, and he did it with Lugosi in mind, obviously because of the success of Dracula. So, according to him, Lugosi was not at all happy about the role of the monster and expressed his dissatisfaction during the experimental two-reeler. Jack Pierce, the makeup artist at Universal, had created the now celebrated monster's makeup, my small contribution being the bolts and screws on both sides of the neck. As I was working with the other actors, during a time when the monster had not yet come to life, Lugosi kept exclaiming, "Enough is enough," that he was not going to be a grunting, babbling idiot for anybody, and that any tall extra could be the monster. And then he said, "I was a star in my country, and I will not be a scarecrow over here," he said repeatedly. How about that? Refuse the fucking card.
Yeah. So what, he took like White Zombie instead?
Well, that makes sense from the scene from Ed Wood, where Lugosi makes fun of Karloff.
He's not able to eat my shit. Isn't that the line? Something like that.
Something like that. He can eat my shit or something.
Yeah.
And the only Shelley's Frankenstein I'm interested in is this Shelley.
I knew I was going to crack a Shelley Friday 3 joke too. You prick. We're on the same. The fact that we're on the same wavelength frightens me.
Yeah, I'm frightened. That's you're on my wavelength. I'm frightened for you.
Oh, I'm getting whoa. Wow, that's what you really think about Heather? Wow. Weird. I gotta let her know. Wait, I'm rocking like.
You're davening.
Yeah.
Rockling.
I'm rockling.
I'm broccoli.
Do the dabbling. We should bring that back as a new dance.
Right?
What are you scratching records over there?
Make a video for the thing. See, we'll play some music for that one and all the davening. You know, that'd be good shit. Okay, so there's an interview in here also with Robert Bloch. With the devil, that's good. Robert Bloch, the author of Psycho, and pretty interesting. Lots of stuff in here. I'll just highlight one or two things that they asked him that I thought were interesting. He says they asked him, "Do you think that there should be age limits set in terms of who can see and read horror?" He says, "I do not. First, it is impossible to do this by flat or decree. Second, the source of any necessary censorship is in the home. The parents are the ones who should make the decision to turn off the TV tube or turn into another channel. They are the ones who should determine what their child is ready to experience in reading or theatrical viewing. And each case is individual. What would destroy the composure of one 5-year-old might not have any significant effect on another. Each child is individual." I agree with that. It's, you know, yep. I'm against censorship myself. So then they ask him, from your point of view, can reading or viewing horror precipitate acts of violence or crime? He answers, "I think an individual is much more apt to be triggered off by reality, whether that reality takes the form of a newspaper account of some mass murder, or whether he sees such violent activity within his own environment. Throughout history, mass murderers, sociopathics, and psychopathic personalities have committed barbarous crimes without any known connection with the horror genre whatsoever. I'll often remind people who posit this explanation that in our culture, which seems to be turning more and more violent, we began in 1940 by setting up something called the Selective Service Act. Here, we deliberately, by decree, took our young men, placed them in boot camps, and taught them how to kill. Moreover, we glorified such killing, made heroes out of killers, and continue to indoctrinate generations of young people in the art of killing. Sadly, it's not considered politically or socially desirable to point out that we've taught our youth to accept the notion of killing as a way of life. It's much easier to point the finger at someone who has written a book or a play and say he's the culprit. He's the one filling our children's heads with all sorts of bad ideas. In truth, The popular acceptance of violence is a product of our historical experience. Our society is geared either to war or a state of readiness for war. This is a far more significant factor in creating and perpetuating violence than anything that someone could ever write or put on the screen.
Wow.
Yeah, sums it up perfectly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking, word for word.
He's a smart man. He's definitely smart, you know. And there's a lot more. It's a really good article, and you know, he answers long. A lot of his answers go on and on, like the one I just read. I mean, they're, you know, but it's really cool stuff. I just can't read. I just highlighted that. So now we get to the back of the magazine. They talk about movies coming out, and this is kind of interesting. And if you've seen the movie I'm referencing, you'll understand. Fangoria recently spoke to John Landis, hoping to learn the real status of the off-again, on-again Universal production of The Incredible Shrinking Woman. What we thought would be a brief phone call turned out to be a lengthy and newsworthy conversation with the young director. Landis, a longtime monster movie fan and early Fangoria reader, has had enormous international success with his first two films and has reached a stage in his career where he can pretty much pick his own projects. Unfortunately, the first of those choices did not work out as planned. Universal wants a Mel Brooks version of Incredible Shrinking Man, which can be produced on a lesser budget and still be a very good film, but that's not what I had in mind. The new director, Joel Schumacher, who did Car Wash, does very fine work, and I think they'll make a wonderful picture. Jack Wagner's script has been reworked. A bit of comedy writer, Jerry Belson, particularly to rescale the film to the lower budget. Rick Baker is still involved. He's built a really magnificent gorilla suit that they've kept. So, did you guys see that movie, Incredible Shrinking Woman with Lily Tomlin?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
A million times.
Me too. I love Lily Tomlin movies, man.
I totally forgot about that movie until you brought it up. Yes. Yeah. But it's not that good. I got to watch it again.
Though. That's nostalgia, though.
It probably is nostalgia, but I still sing that song. Oh, I wish I was a little bar of soap. That's in that movie. Oh, I wish I were a little bar of soap. I go slippy, slippy, slimy over everybody's hiney. Oh, I wish I was a little bar of soap.
I totally forgot about that movie.
Yeah, it's fun. But here's what got me. That gorilla was not a real gorilla. Rick Baker made it. In my memory, it was just a gorilla. So now I'm curious.
Monkey! I'm a gorilla, you fucking clown!
What is that?
That's Trading Places?
Oh,
no.
Shit,
was it?
No, I just watched Trading Places. Maybe it is.
Which is the movie with Clarence Beeks?
Yeah, Beeks. That is.
Yeah, that's it. At the end, on the train. Remember the guy in the monkey suit? In the gorilla suit? And the guy's like, hey, a monkey. It's like, monkey? Monkey? I'm a gorilla, you fucking clown.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I brought up the poster, and yeah, I remember this from my childhood, but I haven't seen it since then. Like when I hit VHS and maybe like cable TV back in the day.
What was the name of the product that made her small? Wasn't it Galaxy something?
Galaxy Soap?
Galaxy? There was like a song.
Galaxy Glue. Galaxy Glue, I think.
It wasn't Gorilla Glue with the monkey?
I don't know, but it's a good movie. It's a good comedy. At least to me it is, you know.
Yeah, it is Galaxy Glue.
Yeah? I remember.
Galaxy Glue.
Galaxy Glue. Yeah. So now, there's one more thing about this. Landis' other projects will not allow him the time to direct these films himself, though he will serve as a producer. The first picture will be a new treatment of The Creature from the Black Lagoon, to be directed by Evan Kim. Set in 1956, the script uses elements from the storylines and original film and its sequel, Revenge of the Creature. So, do you guys remember A Creature from the Black Lagoon in, I don't know, the early 80s?
No, it never came out. John Carpenter was attached to it for the long... He wanted to do it, but after the thing bombed, I guess it didn't happen. So maybe it was in early development, and then Carpenter wanted to do it. It was been one of the long or talked about movies that he never directed or never made. But they never did a new one. The only creature was like his when he popped up in Monster Squad. as one of the original. That's it.
It's weird. When I was a kid and Swamp Thing was out, I just always thought it was the same thing. Creature from the Black Lagoon and Swamp Thing, like in my mind as a kid, was the same thing. I don't know why.
Swamp Thing bores me to death.
I don't even remember much of it. I just remember it was on HBO a lot. Not as much as Incredible Shrinking Woman. It made it
love
really
Incredible Shrinking.
Bad.
I want some Galaxy Glue.
It was always on Galaxy Glue. Yeah. And there's a little bit more, but the project closest to Landis' heart is An American Werewolf in London. He wrote the script in 1969 when he was 19. It's been optioned 7 times, and it's finally going to be made in 1980. He plans to scare the hell out of people with this one and make them laugh at the same time. One problem in getting this film produced is that people read the script and say it's either it's too funny to be scary or it's too scary to be funny, remarks Landis. It will be violent, gory, terrifying, and hilarious all at the same time. So how weird is that at that time that's, now it's horror comedy.
And he succeeded. Yeah.
Right. Nowadays, they'd never say that. It's too scary to be funny, or you know what I mean? There's so much horror comedy now. It's just taken.
The reality, yeah.
Right. It is what it is. Okay. Here's the interesting thing at the end here. Another young director with a great reputation is John Carpenter, whose highly acclaimed thriller, Halloween, is to be followed up by The Fog this January. The soundtrack, composed by the multi-talented Carpenter, is currently being recorded by the rock group Coupe de Ville. Which, that's funny if you know what that is, right? It's kayfabe. He told them that it was a band called Coupe de Ville, but the Coupe de Ville was really him and, Nick Castle and somebody else?
Yeah.
Or some shit? Yeah. So
Dick Warlock? No, it's not Dick Warlock. Tommy Lee, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe Tommy Lee Wallace. Definitely possible. Yeah. And the director has already begun work on his next project, an adaptation of the best-selling novel The Prometheus Crisis. Budgeted at $7 million, the film will go one step beyond the China syndrome by showing the audience the cataclysmic results of an actual nuclear plant meltdown. So what's that they're talking about? John Carpenter, a $7 million budget goes one step beyond the China syndrome. Weird, huh?
It was Tommy Lee Wallace, Nick Castle, and John Carpenter. Just to answer that question, sorry.
Nice.
And so then I missed what you're talking about, except for the budget for that one would have followed The Fog, which obviously didn't happen because he did Escape from New York, unless that's what they're talking about.
Well, was Escape from New York? I don't remember having to do with a actual nuclear plant meltdown, showing the audience the results of it.
No.
So I guess that fell apart. It's just interesting to read this stuff, these things that were supposed to happen that just didn't, like nowadays. You get stuff all the time, but, the fact that it went to print. And one more thing, they're talking about The Brood.
I watched. I'm sorry because I kind of talked over you as I usually.
No.
I was watching In Search of Darkness again.
Great
John
stuff.
Carpenter talks about, this is the first one that's on Shudder. He talked about being fired from a picture. Which one was it now? That he was let go because the thing bombed. And I will have to give. I can't remember now.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, Cliffhanger. It's a well-known film from like 84, 85. I just, for whatever reason, it left my mind right now. It was Once Bitten, yeah. Said he had creative differences with Rubberface. Yeah.
Fucking stunk.
Awesome. And one little snippet. One snippet. The Brood. The latest from writer-director David Cronenberg is stirring considerable excitement at advanced screenings. Starring Oliver Reed and Samantha Eggar, the film concerns a psychiatrist who develops a therapy of mind over matter. Inevitably, a patient's powers of mind go quite out of control with grisly results. Cronenberg, who claims EC Comics as a primary influence, previously galvanized audiences with Shivers and Rabid. So, Frankie's in here touching my Fangoria 1. What do you want, kiddo?
Don't touch
it. I'm still recording, yes. And I will be for about another 45 minutes, if that's okay with you. Well, you got something going on? You're fine. People know who you are. Okay. So, that's the end of episode issue 2. I'll do a tiny bit of issue 3, and then we'll do the rest of 3 in the next show. I like this because of what's happening nowadays in the world and what this was written way back in, 1979. This is issue 3.
It's cool, man.
Christopher Lee on the cover in Arabian Adventure, when they were still talking about fantasy movies. But I like this right here. It says, it's the opening part. In search of fun. Every so often, Fangoria receives a letter or two saying that something along the lines of, how dare you run a feature on Alien Goes to Mars when it was obviously inferior to the original Alien Goes to Malibu? Or, why didn't you slam Arabian Adventures for being scientifically inaccurate in their flying carpet scenes? You get the idea. Apparently, there are a lot of horror and fantasy buffs out there who take their movie and books very, very seriously. So seriously, in fact, that fun seems to have exited the picture somewhere along the line. And this is 1979. Look at nowadays, okay? If you're looking for transcendental criticism and long-winded analysis of the social, political ramifications of Mothra within our pages, you might as well stop reading now. What you hold in your hands is, happily enough, a delightful anachronism, a throwback to an era when movies, books, and TV shows, good and bad alike, could be seen, enjoyed, and or loathed solely on the basis of their content matter, not on the basis of what a group of writers believe the content matter should have been. During the 1950s, when fantasy media magazines first appeared, movie fans, such as myself, haunted the newsstands, eagerly awaited each new issue. Those magazines told us about the movies, about the writers, directors, actors, makeup men, and artists. They told us what made fantasy tick. They took us behind the scenes, issue after issue. Somewhere along the way, this delightful type of reportage gave way to heavy-handed criticism and brow-furrowing. Godzilla became a symbol for industrial technology, and I Was a Teenage Werewolf was transformed into a parable concerning youthful rebellion. Somewhere along the way, the sense of wonder, the sense of magic, the sense of fun bit the dust. Well, we at Fangoria want to put that magic back into your life. We want to introduce you to the people, the places, and the themes that make fantasy such an exciting and imaginative field. We want you to share in the creative experience as much as possible, to join in on the fun. Let's face it, analyzing a movie like Alien in print does wonders for the author of the article, gives him a great sense of import. But does it really let you, the reader, know how, when, where, and why the movie was made? Fangoria wants to take you on the sets, into the author's dens, through the artist studios. We want to show you how and why, tell you when and where. In short, we want to explore the wonderfully complex world of fantasy in every issue. So unfurl the brows, hide the slide rules, and magnifying glasses. Have fun. Enjoy the magic. It's all around you. Besides, I Was a Teenage Werewolf wasn't a parable about youthful rebellion. Invasion of the Saucermen was. So.
What? No. It's funny because that could easily be written today. We were joking. We're pretending to fall asleep while you were doing your thing. Two things I found out it was Firestarter that John Carpenter was fired from.
Oh, wow.
He was supposed to direct Firestarter. And then I just wanted to read, so I got an article that I want to, and it's very quick. I just want to read from my book here. So, yeah.
Nice.
Giveaway.
Yeah. My son would kill me. That's his book. Pardon?
What a great thing that guy, the editor, wrote in that Fangoria way back then. Like, I always hear people all the time saying every director intends something with his movie. I always hear that everything, there's always a reason behind it, and there's always a statement, and that everything has to mean something. And it's like, this is 1979. Imagine. It's like you said, they could write this now. It's like, what happened to the fun? Why does everything have to be overanalyzed in that
40 years later, and it's only gotten worse.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think now people are like, if you're not saying something with your movie, it's just a waste of whatever. But yeah, what just happened to good old... And the crazy part is, it's usually the bottom of the barrel, like, shipbreeder films that are like, they really don't have any hidden message or whatever. But it should just be brought back to mainstream as well. I'm not saying every mainstream film is trying to say something. Trust me, there are a lot of films that are just pure entertainment, but I feel like we do shit on them as fans, one way or the other, and that's sad.
It is sad. It is sad that
like this next movie. No, I'm not going to shit on the next movie. I can't shit on the next movie that we're going to be talking about. I don't know if we're ready to jump into it, but
let's do it.
But you sure are.
I say go for it.
The Hands of Orlick. See, isn't it actual? Isn't there an actual horror film called that? I don't think it's spelled. It's Orlock. I think maybe. The Hands of.
I'll look it up. I know Count Orlock, but the Hands of. Huh? The Hands. The Hands of Mantos, I think it's called, or something, right?
Oh, the Hands of Manos is like a really bad. I think there's another one. That's a shit.
That's Manos,
movie.
the Hands of Fate.
That's what that is. Yeah.
You're right.
Manos. That's like considered one of the worst movies.
Yeah, the Hands of Orlac. First thing that popped up on my freaking thing.
Wow.
Orlac, yeah, 1924. It's Orlac. Yeah, it's Orlac.
I've aged beautifully. I'm 130. I'm 134 years old.
And the picture's like this. That's the poster. I want to watch this now.
I want one of Brandon doing that same pose, like this with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this. That's what I want. Oh, yeah. All right.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. The Block Island Sound from 2020. Something lurks off the coast of Block Island, silently influencing the behavior of fisherman Tom Lynch. After suffering a series of violent outbursts, he unknowingly puts his family in grave danger. Grave. Deer. Do you ever think the word deer could be so terrifying?
That guy from, I was like, what do I know this guy from? And it's like 13, 14 Cameras movies.
Oh, that's him?
He's the creep. Yeah. He's the creepy guy. And the dad in this movie. Yeah. I will say this again. What I'm loving, what I'm finally able to say almost like repetitiously is the fact that these movies are looking good. They're defying their low budgets and they look good. And I'm like, in this day and age, there's no excuse for your movie not to look good. And
don't say that. What about when we make a movie?
Yeah, well, there's no excuse, Dave. We'll have to make it look good. So I'm just saying that, like, it looks good. They took advantage of the town that they're in, the setting with the boat and everything like that, the house. They did a good job. The acting is good enough. His friend, the conspiracy nut, there's some great scenes with him in the car, and he's like, what are you doing? It's funny, because I think Jason Smith posted this scene, and I laughed out loud. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm undoing your seatbelt. Why? He goes, so when I hit that pole, you'll go flying through the windshield, and I won't have to hear about these conspiracy theories anymore. That was funny. There's great dialogue between them. The acting, for the most part, it's passable throughout. I'm not saying this movie is fantastic by any means. It kind of falls apart, and because it has such aspirations, I guess, or it's a little bit bigger, and then those scenes that with the special effects, I think, kind of fall a bit flat.
Oh, really? But
overall, it was decent. It was a decent. I'm interested in seeing what they do next. They caught my attention. I thought they did a good job with this, but the movie I didn't think was great. But I'm very interested in following and seeing what they have up their sleeve for their next film as well. I feel like I just blew my whole load right there, but that was my experience with the movie.
I enjoyed the movie. Again, I thought it had a good menacing score. I thought that growling effects was really quite terrifying. Yeah. And I actually enjoyed the characters and enjoyed where this one went. I think, again, I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself, but this one also felt like an extended Twilight Zone episode, especially with that ending and that reveal. That is so Twilight Zone. That's been done in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
When we find
the very last image.
When we find out the truth of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when she yeah, and I think it's terrific. I'm like, oh, that's actually really cool.
Because last note. Yeah. Sorry, B. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
My last note is right there. Look what this says.
7. I'm just kidding.
Did you see on top of it what my last note was? It said, "Please go there," with an exclamation point. I wrote that exactly when the son, Harry, goes on the boat, and then all of a sudden some things start happening with the life. I don't think we even had to have a spoiler session. I think we could just talk around it, you know. So I think that when some things start happening with the life preservers and what happens with them and where they go and when they come, and you know, and as soon as that happens, I get the idea in my head, and I'm like, and that's what I thought to myself. I said, please go there, because I'm in love with those type of movies.
Yeah.
I'm like, this would be cool. Now I'm happy they did. This is a case where I wish I would have seen the antagonist
a little bit more,
or seen part of what they're doing without spoiling, because I'm into that. That makes it a little more scarier for me. I'm not knocking the film. I liked it. I thought it was good, and I'm glad it went there.
Yeah.
And it's in a movie that I think if I were to watch a second time with the knowledge of it, because I'm watching it thinking it's going in one direction. I'm thinking, like, I told my daughter, I go, this movie's kind of like
life.
The Bay.
Harry Styles?
Yeah.
It's kind of like The Bay, or even, what do you call it? What's the other movie that I really liked last year? The Beach House, or the Boat House, whatever the hell it's called. I forgot what it's called.
Very much like The Beach House.
Right. So I'm thinking of this, and ultimately, it's not exactly that, but this is the direction I'm seeing, and some things are happening. And again, that's up my alley. I love those things, especially that one scene when he goes into the bathroom and there's something comes out of his mouth.
Vomitos.
Yeah, the vomit. You know, like, okay.
That scene's very effective. But they do a great job. They get that small town, the camaraderie amongst the town folk. Like, I love that stuff, and they do it very well here. Between the cops, the relationship of the sister, the siblings, and the dad. Like, I mean, Sorry.
I was gonna say, I don't think they needed the second sister.
No, the bitchy one.
Yeah, cut her out. It's like they needed an extra 15 minutes of the movie. They brought a second sister in. They didn't need it.
They did need the extra 15 minutes of the movie. I agree with you, Brandon. I think it was unneeded.
I think I enjoyed this movie the most of the three of us, from what I'm hearing. But I'm saying this right now. Take her out. You need the other sister was terrific.
Yeah.
I thought she was great. She was very down to earth and realistic, and very, likable. And I like the fact that she sympathized with Harry, because everyone's always so critical of him fucking up, drinking, getting into fights, getting arrested. But she was sympathetic to him when she finds out, like, why he was arrested, why he hit that guy at the bar. And she's like a genuinely good person. And I love the way she talks to her daughter and stuff. And she's, I don't know, she's very relatable and hot.
I agree. But I think that we need the other sister, because it shows, number one, that is how family is. You know what I mean? There's always somebody in the family, and then one sibling's this way, one sibling's this way, and this one's going to be harder. It shows more what Harry has to deal with, not just being where he is, but with his family dynamic. You have this one here who's a little hard on him but sympathetic. Then you have this one, which is probably more representative of everyone who doesn't live on the island that's in his family. That's probably how they view him. And I think that it adds to why he is kind of the way he is, and he is on the defense, and he has to deal with shit. I don't know, I like that more. It adds to the strength of the lead.
I felt it was enough because he could be resentful of the other sister leaving, having a family, being off the island, having a career in whatever she does. Like, I don't know what she is, like some sort of scientist. And him having to sort of being resentful for staying behind, taking care of the father. Because you notice, like, he's concerned for his father, but the minute she shows up, the main sister, he's like, oh, dad's fine. Dad's fine. Like,
right. Like,
almost like he's like lying because he doesn't want her to think that he's not taking care of him.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah. But I could see what you're saying. I just thought, like, of all that, like, especially since, like, nothing came of it. Like, usually, like, when you add a character to a film, it's like, okay, is she gonna die? Is something gonna happen to her? No, she shows up. You get, like a 10, 15 minutes with her in it. They have a little bit, and then he's like, I'll see you at the next family funeral, and that's it.
But that sums it up. He's stuck here to deal with the shit while you run off and you go do your other thing over here. That's what I think they're saying, and that's what I like. It's kind of like in Sopranos, how Tony has to stay and take care of his mother, and he's resentful having to do this and this, while his other two sisters got smart and got the fuck out. And Janice ran away to California and, fucking became a hippie, and he was the responsible one that stayed, yet, and it's kind of like this here with his son. He's viewed as the fuck up, but meanwhile, he's being more responsible because he didn't run away from the problems. Yes, his dad drinks a lot, and yes, they were sad when the mother passed on, but I think it adds to his character, saying, okay, he's not the fuck up that the other people think he is. These other people are the ones that bolted. You know what I mean? Specifically the one. Sorry, I can't talk. Easy for me to say. I'll see you at the next funeral. In other words, you only come around for shit like this. You don't even bother with your own family. How dare you snub me when I'm here taking care of your father? That's what I took.
I get all that as well, but I do think it just goes on. I think that's where the movies, and I'm going to use the term bogged down, but it's by no means, I think that's extreme. I think they have too much of that, and we've already got that. We already got it, so they could have trimmed something away. So I don't disagree with Brandon. You could have just added a little bit more of that spunky sister's attitude into the sister that's there with the daughter, and got rid of the other sister altogether, and not lost anything, not lost the element there, and still dealt with that balance. But again, it's nitpicking, but I think because of that, the relationship aspect, which is great for character and everything, becomes redundant in the film. And I think we need to get to the end stuff that is actually the really intriguing stuff sooner. That was my opinion of it. I think we just needed to get to it a little sooner. Again, I liked the movie as well. I was actually surprised about how much I liked it. But again, I get more intrigued from the production standpoint. I like the look of it. I like the acting.
Never fails.
It was a good looking film.
Yeah.
And I really love the character of his friend. His friend, the conspiracy.
He's a great actor. That's Jim Cummings, who did Wolf of Snow Hollow last year.
Oh, is it?
Wrote, directed, edited, starred in it. He's a talented guy. I knew he looked familiar, and I looked him up. I'm like, oh shit, that's Wolf of Snow Hollow. He's really good. And the conspiracies, like, they all make sense. And then when Harry starts piecing them together on the map, and you see sort of like the path that this phenomenon is following, and everything, and just, I mean, the reveal at the end of everything, and why tons of fish and then later on birds are showing up dead, like it all starts to make sense, and how it parallels basically what the sister tells the daughter about what she does, because the daughter is very upset over certain things that the mother does, and she says, well, most things wind up back in the ocean, but not everything.
Dude.
This must have been the movie that I saw the newscast in. I think I confused it with the other one. I think the other one was audible. I don't know if it was an actual visual on the TV, but I think this is the one where you see the visuals on the TV.
You know what? I agreed with you with the last one. Honestly, these paired up really well, these two movies. Like,
good job, Dave.
Freakishly well.
Freakishly well. Huh? Yeah, we worked out okay. It would have also could have been paired with the beach house or the bay.
Yeah, I immediately thought of the beach house. I thought of the beach house, even though I didn't love the beach houses. I enjoyed this one more, but I immediately thought of beach house in terms of the vibes I was getting from this. And it was freaky, because at the 1 hour and 10 minute mark, my dad was watching it with me, and he enjoyed it as well. But just for no apparent reason. I mean, you hear the growling throughout the movie, but there was nothing going on at this point, and he starts going, just to annoy me. And he's doing that.
Your dad is?
And my dad's doing that. And literally,
awesome.
His growl starts to match up perfectly with the growl in the movie. That just starts up randomly, and it really freaked me out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
he started
awesome.
it first.
That's fucking great.
Girl, dog.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. It's so funny. This is 100% true. As I'm watching the movie, when that girl is when the mother is explaining what she does to the child, and she talks about taking the fish out the water and whatever, and literally I thought to myself, oh yeah, how would you feel if somebody came right now and took your daughter and said, we're doing this for the human race, we got to sacrifice her? I go, do you think about that? Not that I'm insulting science or what they do. I'm very compassionate about things like that. And it's just, and I can't help but every time someone makes a comparison, that's why I don't kill bugs and things. I'm like, just because we're bigger doesn't mean we should have the right to do that. How would you feel? I always say that. How would you feel if fucking 500-foot aliens came down and saw us as bugs and started stamping?
Dude, that's the Twilight Zone episode I'm referring to, where the guy stays behind, the astronaut stays behind to like rule over the tiny people.
Oh yeah, the little people episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was just like, holy shit, this is a Twilight Zone episode.
Great.
Yeah. I was just
it's a great episode. They go to the other land, the two astronauts.
Yeah.
And the one discovers. Yeah,
and he stays behind. The other one's because of the they build up. He's like they make him build a full statue of him. Yeah. How'd they get up to the top to build that?
I don't know, but it's a great episode. But that's the comparison I always say to people that have no problem killing things. And I always like, well, how would you feel? I go, one day somebody could come here, giants could come here that are 100 times the size of us and just step on us and say the same thing. Yes. You don't know what's going on in their lives and how they can communicate and everything else. Either way, I don't mean to downgrade.
Those are giant problems.
But it's funny that conversation happens then, and then they do the voiceover at the end of the same thing. I'm like, aha! I was thinking something somewhat like that. There you go. But then I understand why. It's just funny that I thought it during that scene, and then what things became later. You know?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it though. It was good. You know, there's a funny part when he goes shopping and he starts throwing all that fruit in the fucking basket in the shopping cart.
And then he just walks right out the store.
Yes. Yeah. That guy's reaction is like, hey, oh, you're just gonna leave it here? Yep.
Oh, I loved it. That's been a thing lately in horror. We talked about it a few shows ago about people getting really hungry and eating everything in sight. It's been like a thing the last couple of years. We talked about it in the Christmas Horror Story, that kid that got swapped and he was eating and he had the fork, because we talked about it in that one movie where it happened again. Remember the kid put the
the possession.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big thing in horror like the last decade or so, is all this freaking compulsive overeating. Aha. There you go, Fangoria. They're making statements again. Too much overeating. But I cracked up, man, because he started off slow and he's grabbing a couple of things off the shelf, and then he randomly starts grabbing fucking fruit. Oh man. Here's what I don't like. I hate when they do this in movies, when they minimalize, I said this many times, something that's much more serious than it is, and they minimize it. When they say, like, when she goes out to her brother and says, oh yeah, I just caught Dad drifting, all spaced out. It was a little more than that. If you walked in and you're talking to your father, and he's pouring water into a jug, and he's looking out the window, and the water just keeps filling up, and the jug filled, and it keeps going and going, and this happens for 30 seconds, that's a little bit more than being spaced out. That's like fucking... If that was my father, I'm thinking dementia right then and there.
Yeah,
oh, man,
yeah.
This is bad. But I don't like when they do that in movies, when they see something that's real serious and they kind of play it off. You know what I mean?
I think she gets a sense, though, of that, and they explore that more with Harry later on, especially when he goes for the MRI and he sees the doctor, and they come up with that sensitivity to electromagnetic activity and stuff. So I think it's there, but... I could see, but I get the complaint that, you know, it's often overlooked, especially the way it looks to us. It looks so much more menacing, especially the faces he's always making. Like when he goes in and I guess he's trying to take the girl. He's trying to take the girl out on the boat. And he's like, oh, she must have fallen out of bed. Had a bit. Like, what are you doing, you creepy man? Get out of here. Like, he's terrifying.
It was kind of creepy, that's for sure. And something else I'm going to complain about, but again, it's a movie trope. It isn't just this movie, but I wish movies wouldn't do it as often as they do. How when she goes and she visits the other guy that suffers from the same thing and had the discussion, how he goes from fucking 0 to 100 just like that. He's so fine at first, and all of a sudden the subject comes up, and if you present yourself that way, nobody's going to believe you. It's like when we said in that movie, The Conspiracy. If you walk around acting like that fucking guy in The Conspiracy, can't you just remain calm and say, listen,
oh, the guy in the trailer?
Yeah, I know how this is going to sound, but this is what went down with me, and it's this and this, and I want you to consider this instead of saying, "Oh my God, you're all gonna die." You know, that always happens in movies, and it's like it doesn't have to be that way. If I wrote a movie, that character, it always goes in that direction.
Yeah, I don't like that, and I also don't like the fact that she's like, "Oh, he's crazy. I got to get out of here." Like everything he's saying is everything Harry's doing, and the sister's aware of it.
But it's presentation, buddy.
I know it's presentation, but at the same time, even when she gets back, like when she's driving back to the ferry and she's safe, she's telling Paul, she's like, "Oh, he's nuts." Like everything.
But she knew that going in.
But everything he said to her is everything she's witnessing. How could, even though he presents himself like a lunatic, she should still be like, he was crazy. But everything he's saying is what's happening to Harry. I don't know what the hell to do. But they don't ever do that. Buddy. Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's another movie thing because they act that way. It's like a cheap way for someone not to believe you because they see the way you act. Like, well, who can believe that nutcase? You know. I just wish they would stop doing that in movies. It's unnecessary. It wouldn't change the quality of this movie one bit. She could even hear him, and he could say everything calmly and this and that. But then, I don't know, maybe one look he gives, or maybe he says something for a second when he raises his voice, and it rubs her wrong. It could be enough for her to say, okay, clearly that guy's not with it completely.
It would be more terrifying if he presented it in just a matter-of-fact, calm manner and told everything that's happening to Harry. Just so matter-of-fact. Then she just had this sort of like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Instead of, they're going for the intensity of his craziness, but I totally agree. It would have been actually scarier if he was just like, he could have done the no cell phone, please leave your cell phone in the car. Yeah, that he could have done that, and then they had like a quiet conversation.
Right.
And it built in, and just build in her realization of, holy shit, this is what's happening, and that would have been more effective.
It happens so many times in movies. I don't know why. You know, they like what's his name did a good job in like the Town That Dreaded Sundown when they go and they visit him, and yes, he's weird, and yes, he's off the grid, and some of the things he's saying sound a little crazy, but the way he presents it does it, and that's why the girl leaves. She goes, "Oh, come on, this guy lives on a boat or whatever." But one of them said, "Yeah, but I think he has some good points here." You know, so you can have it coming from both ends. I don't know. I just
both ends. You can't.
You know. You never go ass to mouth. I didn't know. I thought that was a Christian joke. I didn't know that it was from Clerks 2. I found this out yesterday.
I didn't know it was from Clerks 2 either, and I've seen that movie. Maybe I did that.
Oh yeah, that's the famous.
Rosario Dawson said
that's the famous Rosario Dawson line. You never go ass to mouth.
I've only seen it once, Clerks 2, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't know all the lines. Wow. You know? Yeah. So you didn't.
What is that called when you rip something off and you're not even aware that you've done it?
Subconsciously? I don't know.
Well, no, subconsciously, but there's an actual, like, I think there's an expression that.
Gaslighting?
No, I don't think that's it, but
I don't know what any of these fucking I always hear these terms that people use, and I don't know what, and I don't want to know what the fuck. Gaslighting, fucking, what's the other one? There's like, I don't know, there's so many fucking terms. Honey dicking. That's a good one.
That is a good one. Fucking mollywopping.
Mollywopping? Yeah. Just don't do it to Italians.
I hate getting mollywopped with a honey dick.
I hate getting mollywopped by a wop. A wop on Molly. An Italian fucking tripping. He's a mollywop.
In Dagobah.
Oh, shit.
Cryptomnesia?
Yeah, I remember that one.
I think something like that. The science of accidentally stealing other people's ideas.
That's basically my comedy routine. That should be the name of my stand-up routine.
Evidently mine too. I got to find out when when Clerks 2 came out, because this was something like, that was a joke from way long ago. Like, I have like it used to be a sketch pad. Now it's I've transferred a lot of it to my notes in my phone, where it's just random jokes or random. They're not even jokes because they're not fully flushed, but just random ideas. Like, ATM, you never go ATM. You know, what kind of dyslexic chick invented this or whatever? Like, it's just random stuff that at some point in time I wanted to mold into some sort of routine, but never did. I've got
really
a ton of them
jokes
still
because none of them are funny.
Yeah, they're missing one key element: comedy.
Oh shit!
That's funny.
Awesome. Oh, crypto quids. Yes. Whatever.
That will be the name of my special.
Crypto
Cryptonesia.
quids.
It's a weird name for a
Cryptonesia?
special. Yeah.
Crypto quid pro quo.
I got a nice. I wanted to do that. I thought that would be hilarious if you were the Pat Boone of comedy and you just ripped off famous comedy bits from way back when. Like I just start doing the Bill Cosby dentist thing, and then I do like the ice cream thing from Eddie Murphy, and I do the black people versus. Well, I guess you can't do that one from Chris Rock.
You can't say that.
You know, but it's like the Pat Boone of comedy. It'd be fantastic. Cover jokes.
Cover. Yeah, these are covered like a cover band. Cover jokes.
It's hilarious.
Oh man. Honestly,
The act writes itself. Sorry. Honestly, sorry.
no, back to the movie. There isn't a whole lot to say, I guess. I mean, it's worth your time. Yes, watch it.
It's
But I
definitely
mean,
worth your time. Good
Yeah.
acting, good performances. I like all the characters in it.
the kid's not annoying. She's cute.
No.
She's
Yeah.
spunky. You know.
I love the mom. I love the sister. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
Yeah, she's terrific. The brother, he's terrific.
yeah.
Dad's creepy as fuck.
I like the relationship in the beginning with the dad and the brother. You know,
Yeah, it's
general.
Yeah,
There's enough good to
feel-
recommend it. It does feel a little drawn out. I feel like they could have condensed it. And again, I've said this in every episode. We use this as an argument that the movie could have been shorter, but this does feel like a Twilight Zone idea that's now an hour and 40 minutes.
Get rid of the other sister. Get rid of the other sister. It's an hour and 25 minutes. It's fine. You don't need those scenes. He has the same sort of neglected feel just from the success of the other sister, you know, making it off the island and being successful, and he feels like a failure. He doesn't need the other one to actually show up and be even bitchier and just be like, oh, he can't take care of himself. He can flip burgers or mop floors.
They could have just trickled a little bit of that spunky sister's personality into the existing one there with the child, and it would have worked fine. And I do like her boyfriend that actually is her employee.
Yeah.
And the dad said,
He's
"Oh,
cool.
we'll put the queen in there, and you guys can share the bed." They're like, "Dad, that's totally inappropriate."
Yeah.
I'm his
Yeah,
boss.
that is right.
I'll drive you to the ferry.
Right. Yeah, it was good. I wish we would have seen a little more. There was something I wanted to see once I saw where it was going. I was like,
It could have been. It could have been almost.
don't give it away. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're thinking.
Starts with an L.
A couple of them. Well, see, I was thinking of one starts with an F and one starts with a
You.
M.
E.
M.
No, an E. Nope. So we're way off base. Either way. I don't want it to go full. I'm saying I don't want it to go full all the way in, but I do
You
want.
never go. You never go full all the way in.
Sometimes you
You know how many
can't.
times I use that? Just we'll just a tip, just a tip.
Just the tip.
My balls are in there.
Balls deep.
Balls first.
Balls.
This is odd. It's a mild rumble. Half head on the low side of a half head for me.
It's a half head for me too.
It's a half head explosion for me as well.
There you go. It's the year of the half heads.
I'm not gonna say on what end,
Nope, I'm not even gonna say the end.
but it's half. It's half. Hef.
hef. Yes,
Hef.
hef.
That's the Jewish half head.
Hef.
Half head.
Right?
Half head. Oh.
2 live Jews. And that's enough of the Hebrew stuff. It's time to shake your butt.
Officially
should've
came out
said that.
last week. Sorry.
No. What did you say, see?
It officially came out last week on Netflix.
Friday.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Thursday I think.
Or Thursday even. Okay. Yeah, our first Netflix movie, I think. Netflix premiere, at least, that we've done.
It is. Yeah.
Of course, next show is going to be... what month are we in? March? Yeah. Next show is going to be an April show. So we'll see what's coming out in the first week of April and get on it. And then episode 140 is a big one. It's going to have a special guest. And it's going to be a big one. So that'll be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Right on. Okay. So I guess that's that. That's the end of 138. I can't even talk anymore. 138.
That lost hour. I'm tired.
I'm okay. I went to bed early. I'm smart. I play ahead. If I'm going to lose an hour, I go to bed an hour earlier. You know what I mean? I play into it. Yeah. Hey, fuck this. I'm getting my full at least 7. You know
I got to bed at 2, and all of a sudden I lost an hour.
Wow,
oh
buddy.
God.
That sucks.
Yeah.
2. What's the matter with you?
I got into bed at 2, and I looked at the clock, and it was 3.
Oh, no.
I was like, fuck.
Oh, terrible. Gotta sleep, homie.
Saturday night. I'm going to sleep tonight.
You're going to sleep? Oh, lucky you. You can. Right. Okay, well, we got to get out of here, everybody. Thank you.
Everybody.
Manchichi. We love you.
Take care. Long time.